invaded. They recognized the sign, and they used bitter herbs to flush the invaders out. The formula I use is soursop bitters from Serene Herbs. 15 African herbs working together the way they've been used for generations. Soursop leaf has compounds called acetogenins that energy to parasite cells. Adults, larvae, eggs, all of them. Neem stops them from reproducing, so they can't multiply inside you. Senna gets your colon moving to flush everything out. Tamarind binds to the toxins and carries them through. Blackseed calms the inflammation in your gut. Turmeric repairs the damage to your intestinal lining. And Irish moss rebuilds your gut wall so parasites can't reattach. This is what makes it different from stuff like ivermectin. Ivermectin kills parasites, but it doesn't flush them. So dead parasites just rot inside you and release more toxin. This formula kills, flushes, and heals. All three. 2 tablespoons every morning. Tastes absolutely disgusting. That's the point. Sweet supplements feed parasites. Bitter herbs destroy them. If your gut health product tastes good, it's not doing anything. 3 weeks later, people come back saying they feel like a completely different person. Energy steady all day. Bloating gone. Thinking clear. Sleeping through the night. Cravings gone. Some even say their doctor asked what the hell they're doing differently. But before you buy any bitters, know this. Most are too weak, watered down, sweetened to make them taste better, which defeats the whole point. If it doesn't make you wince, it's not working. Over 500,000 people use soursop bitters daily. Third-party tested. Sourced directly from West Africa. No fillers, no sugars, no artificial garbage. Link is below. Flash sale happening now, but they sell out fast. If you want to finally feel like yourself again, grab some before they're gone.
That was this ad, y'all.
This settlement check completely changed
Wait a
my
minute,
life.
hold on.
And it came from a car accident I almost forgot about.
That was this ad. I did a
that-
screenshot of it.
Alicia was the only one who cared. Bradley
Hold
slams the
on.
door.
Yeah, I did a screenshot of it as well. So I'll put that information down in the description box. It was interesting because that's some kind of like African herb or whatever, but it was basically, I wish I would have started recording sooner, but it's a sour substance, so it's talking about parasites in the stomach. You know how people can have big guts and whatever. So, you know, a lot of times when there's a lot of bloating, there's like parasites there. And that's why I try to minimize sweets and stuff. But in this commercial, hello y'all, thank you so much for coming into the live. And I'm going to be doing some other lives here within the next 2 hours. More about narcissists and text messaging, y'all. Please click a like. So that sour African herb, yes, it's a liquid substance on this commercial or this ad that was just on YouTube, right? And I'll put it down in the description box below this video ends. Hello, Natalie. How are you? Beautiful Sunday to you as well, dear heart. Beautiful Sunday to you as well. Thank you so much for coming in. Everyone say hi to Natalie as well. Yeah, so I wish I would have started playing that ad, y'all, sooner, but I'm gonna try to remember as much as I can learn from what was not on the video because I started recording the last end of it, right? And from now on, when I start hearing an ad, I'm gonna just start playing it right away, right? I'm gonna just go into my live and click right away. But oh, you're human today, Natalie? Thank goodness. I am human today too. I am very, very human today. So Natalie says, I'm human today. She does the laughing and crying out loud face. Yeah, I'm doing the best I can. Going through some struggles with Daniel, you know, he's, you know, being very childlike. And you know, these teenagers now, young adolescents, young adults, they quick to say they grown, right? That's a main sign when someone has to announce that they are grown or an adult. That's a major sign that that's not what they really are, right? Because you don't really need to announce it, especially when someone's not disrespecting you, you know. Now, if you're stating your boundary, like, look, I'm an adult, I can make this decision, but that's not what court orders are saying. The court orders aren't saying, hey, you're a big adult, you're ready to fly. The court orders are saying, no, slow down, don't fly so fast. You need a little assistance so that you can eventually have a smoother flight. That's what court orders are saying. And when I say court orders, I'm talking about probations, paroles. There's a lot of different type of agreements, stipulations, and court orders that are actually not even probation related. Okay. They're implemented in schools and everything. Okay. It's all about the contracts. So anyway, going back to the subject matter with the gut thing, and like I said, I'm going to put the information in the description box, but it was showing the video as well. And in the video, it was showing these parasites like in your intestines. And then it showed how in the video that the parasites come out of your bowels. And I think this has happened for people. I've never seen nothing like that in my bowels, y'all. I hope I never see it. I also do not believe that everyone has a lot of parasites or any parasites. The stuff that they were showing on that video, if I had that type of stuff in my body, I probably would have an asthma attack. Okay. My body would not handle that. You know what I mean? I just truly don't feel like my body could handle that. I mean, them was some big freaking, it looked like worms. And so yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna do some research. I'm just gonna Google, and y'all could Google this too. Do all human bodies have parasites? See what it says. Do all human bodies have parasites? And tell me what y'all see. Just put it in the chat. So, and maybe I'll Google it in a minute, but I just want to first go over what was in this video of this advertisement of this African herb. So it talked about parasites, sweets. I do believe that. That would be addictive. That would seem very addictive to a parasite, and that would seem like what would make a parasite grow as well. One of the things I do a lot is I stand while I believe that parasites like to hide out in the gut when you're sitting and eating, everything is being pressured up, not down. So I believe when you do more standing and eating and walking, y'all, walking as well, any parasites that should be there should be working itself down to the bowels. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. See? Okay. Natalie just said by Google Gemini, okay, it says, no, not all humans have parasites. Okay. That kind of was going along with what I was kind of saying, right, Natalie? But now we have the formal proof of it. I just intuitively knew, trust me. See, with my body, I feel everything, right? So if some weird shit start crawling around in me, especially as big as what they showed on that freaking video, I would feel it. I would get sick. I just wouldn't survive it. I would get some deadly infection and kick up out of here. Or I would need to be hospitalized. And I do know this. I was talking to one of my cousins about this, and he mentioned that tumors are parasites. Not all tumors. Some tumors are parasitical, but not all tumors. Because I had a tumor in my arm and it's not parasitical. So this is the thing. Okay, this is what I will say. Tumors that are in the intestinal area of the body, the bowels, any tumors that are involving the digestive system, yes, there will be parasites. Those will be highly parasitical tumors, but the tumor in the arm, see, your arm is not part of your digestive system. So that's the thing. So we must make sure that we know details of certain things so we don't insult people. You don't want to tell someone that has a tumor in their arm or in their hand area, yeah, you know, that's parasites. And then, you know, sometimes with this particular cousin, he speaks before he investigates sometimes, right? He speaks before he doesn't ask enough questions. It's part of narcissism, not asking. His narcissism doesn't make him ask enough questions, not doing enough research, and also not understanding that I knew that some tumors do have parasites. It wasn't the type of tumor I had in my arm. Some tumors, the parasites have a place to go hide, right? But parasites are usually not in the arm area. Most parasites will be connected to the intestines. So just remember that. And the feet. The feet is another area. I saw this one video where this man had all these parasitical looking worms and stuff. It was coming out of his ankles and feet and all of that. But remember, the foot is a fungal area. Okay, so that's why that's happening. So Natalie says, no, not all humans have parasites. This is the research Natalie did. Thank you, Natalie. While intestinal parasites are incredibly common globally, they are not an inherent or permanent part of every human being's biology. Thank you for that. Okay. It goes on to say, Natalie puts this in the comment, a person only has parasites if they have been exposed to and infected by them through contaminated food, water, soil, or surfaces. Okay. So 4x43 says hello. So hello to you. And then 4x43VRR also says, just a question. Do you watch BFD? Also, if you try to say my username, you can just call me 4. Okay. Okay. So I'll call you 4. So 4 says, do I watch BFD? No, I don't know what that is. What is BFD? Can you write that out for? Can you write that out? Oh, that's fine. Okay, 4 says, oh, that's fine. It's a object shown about objects battling for Dream Island, and it has 5 seasons. So is that like a TV show? Four, is it like a TV show? Thank you so much for the like, y'all. Yeah, I don't TVs, and I plan on getting one, but I don't own TVs anymore. So I don't have cable. It's an animated series. Okay, what I'll do is I'll look it up on YouTube, but and I've talked about this in other videos. I don't own TVs. I do have electronics and devices because of course I'm right here on YouTube, right? But I don't have TVs. And not having a TV is part of what was in my journey, which led to me having a YouTube channel. Because I say this, you want to become not just the viewer, but the creator. In some kind of area, you got to create and view. You got to do a little of both. And that can be done in various ways. It can be done by being a content creator. It can be done by going to platforms where your information and research is being added, just like what Natalie did. Okay, so when Natalie comes in my lives, she's not just a viewer. She's providing information. I call Natalie my moderator. sometimes, right? So Natalie, I'll just name a couple of people right off the top of my head. Coffee Black and Natalie, they bring information to this channel. So once you start involving yourself in any networks, channels, databases, and you start bringing information to the channel, you're not just a TV watcher anymore. Creation, okay? Because that's part of creating this video. So if I'm utilizing Natalie, Coffee Blacks, or Ford's information that he's providing, even he, like, okay, I may not have a TV, but he just led everybody on to a series. It's called BFD. Is it BFDI? It may be BFDI, maybe. Yeah. So Ford says, okay, completely fine if you don't watch. It's extra. Michael and Carrie Hung created it in 2007 when they were 10 years old. See, okay, so he's explaining, and it's BFDI. Yep. So thank you for putting that. So Ford says the show is called BFDI. So what y'all should do is make sure you read the chat and the comments so that you're learning and getting information from what Natalie and BFDI is creating on this channel. See, because that's why I call this channel Advanced Insight Channel. It's not because of what I bring here, it's because of what we all bring here. So this is going back to the subject of, not having TVs. So you got to some kind of way not be just the watcher, not just be the viewer. You want to be creating in some kind of way. And I just gave examples of how you can do that. Okay. So just make sure when you go into people's channel, you're creating as well. And go to a channel. That's the benefit of coming to small channels like this, where your creation is being allowed. If you're on somebody's channel and they have 1 million subscribers and they have 40,000 people on a live, you may be ignored. So what you're creating on their channel is not being utilized. So you want to make sure it's actually being utilized. And so thank you so much for all the good chats and comments. But going back to the subject matter that I began with this this African sour herb, and I don't think you just have to be Black or African to utilize it. So I'm gonna give you the website to go to. So in the video, it had photos of these it had photos of the worms and parasites, and on the video on this ad, it made them look pretty large in size. Then it shows that when you drink this sour herb, the parasites come out and they just start falling out and stuff. That's what it showed. So it's called Soothe Your Gut, Feel Your Best. Okay, so SereneHerbs.com. So it's spelled like this, almost kind of like my name, but my name's Irene, Irene, but this is called Serene Herbs. So it's SERENE herbs, HERBS.com. So this soothes your gut, feel your best, okay, is what it says. And so let me see. Yeah, now I did a screenshot. It has a photo of these parasites. Now, I'm looking at the color of these parasites, right? So just keep this in mind. In the video, they made it seem like the parasites were quite alive when they were coming out the rectum, right? But I believe that the parasites can be within your bowel and they already died already. Okay. And signs of that could be the smell of your bowel movement, right, may show or indicate that maybe the parasites already died. And I'm just kind of looking at the color of this, these, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 5 parasites. It's like this light brown. And I'm gonna be honest, y'all, that light, light brown, almost like a beige to tan looking color boo-boo. I have never felt comfortable with that color boo-boo. And in this photo on this sereneherbs.com, the parasites are the color of that weird looking shit color. Because you got the shit color that can look almost black. Like you be thinking, okay, I'm iron deficient. Then you got the chocolate. I think the cool shit color is like the chocolate, like a Hershey chocolate bar. I think that's kind of the coolest. Then you got that black looking iron deficient shit. And then you got this light beige or tan, that weird looking light brown, the color of these parasite looking things on here, right? I might try to do a short and show you what the color is. Like I could do like a video short, and I could use this as like a thumbnail so you can see what I'm talking about. But yeah, but that maybe that be the parasites that's coming out. But like Natalie did the research, not all human bodies have parasites. Okay. And I believe those are the human bodies. For one, these are a couple of things that I do to reduce parasites in my body. For one, I don't eat a lot of meat. I don't overindulge in red meat. Number two, I make sure my meat is well done. I mean, I don't want no blood on the inside. My chicken, I cook my chicken breast so good that the chicken be like white looking, like it's not spongy feeling. There's no pink. Can't no pink or red be in my meat, because I do know this: parasites, they cling to bloody stuff that we can eat too. Like people that eat like rare cooked foods where it's not cooked all the way, I know they have a lot of parasites. And they will also have the big gut to show. So that big, too large a gut, I do believe that could mean parasites. I was talking to Miss Angel the other day, and she had mentioned, like when people have that inner tube shaped like body, like you'll see it a lot in women, especially obese and morbidly obese women. Usually morbidly obese women, they'll have that big circle thing around their waist. It's like an inner tube. It just goes all the way around the body. And it was my perspective that that's a tumor. That's on the form of a tumor. Like if I just started growing like certain fat just all around my waist, I would go to the doctor and I would say, I want this tumor removed. Or when it first starts growing, I think it's like a tumor type thing that continues to grow, which could indicate there's parasites there, right? So this is very interesting. So it's sereneherbs.com, sereneherbs.com. And then you go there and just click on shop now. I'm not sure if you could get to it from YouTube, but it was a YouTube advertisement that I went to. So, and like I said, I'll put it in the description box as well. But yeah, so in this photo, it has the parasites eating the food that we're eating. So it's making it appear that the parasites are eating, it looks like they're eating like a potato or ham. So in this photo, The parasites are eating the hamburger. Oh, and another sign that you won't have many parasites in the body is when you have a body, and I have this body, y'all, where I don't hold food very long. So if I within 3 hours, I have a bowel movement. Now, bodies that don't work like that, and that's because I did some study on that, and that's because you have more contractions in your stomach or something that makes it happen. And I love that body. I love having a body where I'm disposing of what I eat within several hours. Now, some people bodies, and I talked to this white man. This was back in 2024. He worked at the hospital, y'all. He was a social worker. He explained to me that when he eats, everything he eats, no matter what it is, his body disposes of it 24 hours later. And he thought everybody's body was that way. Okay. And I explained to him that no, not everybody holding stuff that long, brother. So he wasn't obese though, but that doesn't mean he has more parasites. But from my perspective, a body that has old ass food sitting there, like if I eat a fucking burger, if I eat a freaking burger and it sit in my stomach 24 hours, yes, I would think, yes, there would be parasites there. So I think like the research Natalie did where it said that not all human bodies have parasites, right? I think those would be the human bodies that clean themselves out more. And another sign that there's parasites in the body, from my perspective, will always be the skin. It's your skin too. Yeah. If you have a lot of stuff going on with the skin, then that's nothing but bacteria. It's coming from the inside. And see, that's the thing, like with my skin, I take care of my skin from the inside of the body first. Taking care of the surface of the skin is second for me. And I have decent skin. You know, people have told me I have pretty skin, but it takes work though. I use this Origins brand. It's called Clear Improvement. It's active charcoal mask. I use that periodically. I get it from the Ultra. And so that works really well. And then another thing that helps is this De La Cruz vitamin E oil. It's really it'll have your skin really pretty too. So and I don't always and just some nice cool water, y'all. And true warm water. I keep hot water out of my face as well. And so witch hazel, the T.N. Dickinson's witch hazel. I use that as well periodically. So all of that helps. But not overdoing it, you know. And then because I have eczema and I'm able to manage my skin enough, good enough where you can't really see a lot of that. So going back to what I was saying, okay, so the gut, they got these 5 that light brown, weird looking color. Y'all done seen it, y'all. If you shit something like that out, you probably be like, oh, I'm not well. It's the shit, it's the color of these parasites, it's that shit color that makes me very uncomfortable. Like I said, I like my shit chocolate like a fine man or something. You know what I'm saying? Not black, not that black shit. Cause that's that shit where I'd be like, somebody ain't got no iron in their body. But then okay, on another photo on Soothe Your Gut, Feel Your Best, it got now the worms are gray. They got them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's like 8 worms that's gray. Look like they eating some what you call those beans? Pork and beans. Look like they're eating some pork and beans. And now it's in the pink lining of the intestines. I'm just looking at all these photos. And an antibiotic, I mean, you know, when there's when you're sick and you got an infection, you know, that old augmentin amoxicillin, you know, the 875 milligrams, almost 1,000 milligrams. The combination of augmentin, amoxicillin, you know, the strong amoxicillin, that strong one. So that's why it's important to take the antibiotic, because I know an antibiotic does unalive parasites. So we got the facts on it. Not all bodies have parasites, which is kind of what I was egging on to. Because I strongly feel like if I had, and it's up to us, you know, like to work them out. You work out parasites and anything toxic through walking, you know, medicine, going to the doctor. And if you have an infection, make sure you demand an antibiotic. You can tell them, I don't want parasites growing all through my body, doctor. That can be a new advocacy point or a way you can advocate for yourself now. Say, you know, I don't, you know, if I'm infected, because infections can create parasites sometimes. Okay. Sometimes, not all the time. So now they got this pink looking parasite. Oh my God. That one looked worse than the light brown one. And I ain't trying to be racist. Okay. It's just that this pink and purple looking one. Ugh. And then they got one that looks kind of orangey. Right. So they got the orangey looking parasite. Ugh. Parasites hide. Yeah, it says the parasites hide. Yeah, so it's interesting. So yeah, so I'll put that down in the description box. But that was interesting. I wish I would have recorded the whole commercial. And that's what I'm gonna do. Next time I hear something really good, I'm gonna just get my device and just click it right away. Thank you so much for the likes, y'all. I really appreciate the likes. And I'm going to read this comment or the information that y'all go check out the BFDI that Ford mentioned. And then I'm going to read the comment again that Natalie put in here answering the question. So Natalie went on Google Gemini. It says, no, not all humans have parasites. While intestinal parasites are incredibly common globally, they are not an inherent or permanent part of every human being's biology. A person only has parasites if they have been exposed to and infected by them through contaminated water, food, soil, or surfaces. Okay, so it sounds like parasites are kind of germ related. I'm going to add this too. That's why we have to make sure we keep inflammation under control too, because ongoing inflammation can lead to germs. I think it's important to clean our body out, not to leave a bunch of stuff there for parasites to attach to, like snot. You know, you got people that won't blow their nose. I think parasites would like to play around with old snot that's backed up in the ear, nose, and throat, right? I think parasites, from my perspective, and I'm no doctor, but I think parasites play around with any nasty stuff in or outside the body. This could be inclusive of not wiping your behind properly, I think a parasite would love old packed up shit back there, right? I think parasites would like uh, a person that doesn't wipe properly and they got a urine smelling vagina or penis, right? I think that parasites like a lot of stuff other than just food. So blowing your nose, um, rinsing your mouth with peroxide at least 1 minute, having proper dental routines done, having your dental appointments and stuff done. I think parasites attract to a lot of things. Nasty feet, dirty toenails, dirty fingernails, um, nasty earwax coming all out the ears, um, filthy hair that has cakes and cakes of grease in it and the hair hasn't been washed properly. Um, extra layers of dirty skin. You know, get in the tub, wet your leg, okay, and take your little nail and pull up and see what comes off. Is it actually your complexion, or is that 1 or 2 to 3 layers of dirty skin? If you get dirty skin off of your body and you don't have 2 to 3 layers of dirty skin, you might be light skinned. So you think you dark skinned. Some people are naturally brown. I will know the difference. So, okay, this is what it'll look like. If someone, y'all know that gray color, right? How like you would see dark skinned people and some of them you'd be like, they leg look kind of black/gray, right? That's not their skin color. That's layers of dirt. And once they get, okay, but grayish, they're dirty and they need to get the extra 2 or 3 layers of skin off through soaking. What's that one thing called? I mean, you can use a face towel, but you just take your little nail and just scrape it on off. And for me, that's how I protect myself from having less eczema problems. Because see, the thing is with eczema, whatever you want to call it, it doesn't like bacteria. So sometimes you see people like they have eczema or eczema and they're like patches of dry skin everywhere. That's because a lot of times they're dirty, they have bacteria on their skin or coming from the internal part of the body, or they don't have the proper treatment. If you have really out of control eczema or eczema, you need the ointment, not the cream. And I'm going to tell you the name of it. It's the steroid ointment. The cream is weak. It won't do any good. So hold on, y'all. And this is the prescription. This is actually a prescription, y'all. So I've been using it for years, y'all, and I still don't know how to pronounce it. So it's it's TRIAMCINOLONE. Acetone or acetonide ointment, the 1%. And you know what? Another good place to use this, y'all, is where I'm getting ready to kind of do some experiment with this, is on the bottom of my feet, y'all. You don't really realize that's an eczema spot. until you really look at it really good, because eczema hides in different spots. So the palm of the hands is a raw eczema spot, the bottom of the feet, the elbows, back of the knees, the face. It can show up anywhere, but this is what I use right here. And I don't need to use it every day. But the cream does nothing. It's not strong enough. The ointment is more like the cure. Okay. And with the ointment, you shouldn't need it every day, especially once you get it under control. So if I'm having eczema in the palm of my eczema loves my right hand. Okay. So if I have it in the palm of my hand, I may need to use the ointment every day, 2 to 3 times a day for 2 weeks to get it under control, along with using like a prescription ibuprofen, 600 milligrams. So you got to treat it from the inside out. The hand is inflamed because once the eczema starts acting up in any area, that spot is also inflamed as well. And you can just clean it with like a little D.N. Dickinson's witch hazel. So that's the thing. So Natalie says, Natalie, what do you mean your messages keep getting deleted? Your messages on here? Or do you have to scroll back up? Because I'm still seeing your messages. Like your messages, I'm seeing every message that you typed. So far, you have left 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I see 10 comments. So let me read the other comments. Oh, Natalie. Okay, Natalie says, I watched a video you did about bullying. You mentioned a trans woman that intimidated you by eyeing you. It is the same trans woman from previous videos. Let me see, which video was that? So give me the name of the video. Because no, we can answer different stuff. So okay, so the trans lady with the embezzlement situation, that's with the embezzlement, with the money that's being robbed, the black trans lady. That's the most recent one. But so which video was it? One of my lives or like an actual video? Because Natalie says, I watched the video you did about bullying. You mentioned a trans woman that intimidated you by eyeing you. Is that the same trans woman from previous videos? Yeah, that wouldn't be the same trans woman. Because if it's a video I did about bullying, yeah, so this is the thing. I can answer that question. If I'm talking about a trans woman in a video about bullying, I don't remember that video, but I do a lot of videos. I would have to go re-listen to the video to kind of remember. But I've had was that the Mother's Day one where I was at the outside of the bar at the restaurant and the trans lady almost got stabbed. I've had a very interesting relationship with the trans community, y'all. So I did a video about that where I talked about that. That was like on a holiday. I think it was Mother's Day. And that was the down low brother that was in the bar out there drinking, y'all. I'm just in there ordering food. I started going over to the bar area because there was a bad waitress over in the restaurant area. So in the bar area, there's like this little den area where you can see furniture. I remember doing one about the trans lady. She was white. And I actually went out on the patio and had to tell the dude, don't stab her. See, because what he doing, see, you got these down low men. So this black down low dude, he was acting like he ain't like the trans. And when he went out on the patio of the thought you was a Spanish lady. Oh, that actually, yeah, he was actually a that. Okay. Now he was a biological male, right? Okay, so that guy, Rashad. That's remember his name too. I don't know if I mentioned it in the video, but that was Rashad. That was that serial killer dude, right? He would mean mug me down. He was in the fitness center off my radar. And he doesn't live over here anymore. He actually moved. He was staying with his I think that was his aunt, right? So what he was, I guess you would call him, and hopefully this is not offensive. I think this is part of the LGBTQ. So the Q would be for queer, right? Because L, lesbian, gay, bisexual, let me see, LGBT, trans, Q would be for queer. So he had this real girliness about him, but he wasn't actually a technical trans, but you could kind of put him in the category under queer. But actually, I ended up seeing him at the bar again, and he's a big old womanizer, y'all. So he has this feminine energy, but he really is a womanizer. He's a freak. Okay, I learned that about him later through seeing him out more. But every blue moon I'll see that man, but he was technically a man. He was a man. You could tell he's a man, but I don't know if maybe he while he was in prison or jail, because he explained he was in prison or jail. Like somebody was getting him in there, y'all. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. But and I remember in that video he said he had 1 or 2 kids or something, I think, in that video. Yeah, because I think that video was psychopathic bullying. Yeah, I think that video is under my psychopath bill. Yeah, but you may, if you want to consider him a trans woman, that's fine. But he was kind of like on the border, but I could tell he was a man, right? But he did have a very trans queer. He's a queer. He reminds you of Marvin Gaye, daddy. Remember the singer that got alive by his dad? Marvin Gaye's father was a queer. A few baby mamas, but I would have to go back and watch that video. But I do remember he said he had at least 2 kids. Okay, I do remember that. But yeah, that gentleman, that's Rashad. He would be considered more like a queer. Okay. And so, yeah, that was a video I did on psychopathic bullying from what I remember. But this recent trans lady, this black one, this is the one that's doing the embezzlement of my account. Okay, so it's another trans black lady. And I'm going to go back to my relationship with trans, right? I'm gonna tell you, it goes back to teenagehood when they called them drag queens. Okay, drag queens. One of the things I do is I treat them fairly, right? And so I'll tell you how I got disciplined by these drag queens, is what they used to be called. Now they're called transgenders. But back in my era, and some of them are still being called drag queens. It depends on what they like to be called. But I was at my grandmother's restaurant. Thank you, Natalie, for bringing this topic up. See, the content creation comes from the viewers, right? Remember, I was talking about that earlier. See, so what Natalie's doing right now is she's creating content, because I'm not going to lie. I'm trying to think of what the fuck to talk about. I ain't gonna lie. See, when people do these videos, you think we have some kind of script. Sometimes I'm using notes. Sometimes I'm using a script. on certain videos, especially like my videos where I'm going to name 25 things to do here and there. But sometimes I just decide I'm going to name 25 things and I just do it off the top of my head. It just varies. But sometimes I actually may create a little list. So, Natalie, funny. Yeah, so I'm just being honest. So we're talking about content creation. So right now, Natalie has influenced a great amount of content creation in this video because she's actually driven this video in the way it's supposed to be. See, because I can't plan that because I don't know Natalie's coming here, right? Me and Natalie didn't talk before the video and say, you know what, this is what we're gonna do or whatever. So like I said, I'm just being honest. I was like thinking, what the hell else am I going to talk about? I wasn't going to talk about the narcissism text messaging because I'm going to do that on a separate video. So I have separate videos I'm going to do, but I wasn't going to mention that subject matter here because that's its own subject. So yeah, so this recent trans lady, black lady with this embezzlement case, that's separate. And then the queer Rashad, he was the queer, right? I would call him a queer because that's kind of the category that Marvin Gaye daddy would have been in, because you know Marvin Gaye daddy was married to Marvin Gaye mama. I'm talking about the singer. And you know Marvin Gaye, that's why he added the E to his last name, because he was traumatized by his father. Because Marvin Gaye, when he was a child, he would come in the living room or in certain parts of the house, and his father, Marvin Gaye Sr., would be wearing Marvin Gaye mama's clothes. So imagine you a child and you come in the living room and your daddy got on your mama's dress and skirt and her high heels. This is what Marvin Gaye Sr. used to do in front of his son, Marvin Gaye. And you know, I had suspicions, y'all. I wondered if hold on one second. Hello? 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 Hello?
Hello, can we cash my check?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm coming on.
I'm on a live now. And so we need to talk, Daniel, about where your whereabouts are at and stuff like that.
Well, I missed the bus last night, so I couldn't do nothing about it. So,
Okay, but you haven't told me where any of your whereabouts are at.
Oh, well.
And that's violating the court order. So yeah, I'm getting ready now. And so I'm doing stuff right now. So huh? What you say? What? I can't hear you.
I want to cash my check so I can have money.
Yeah, that's fine, but we need to make an appointment to do it because I didn't know if he was coming back.
We all went out to eat too Jessica and Dawson and all them. They have to buy my food because I have no money.
Yeah, that's fine. So what time? You still have to do it on a scheduled time because you've been gone the whole weekend without permission.
We didn't schedule time. 18 is right over here.
Yeah, but I gotta get ready. I got something I'm doing here right now. So you have to schedule a time. So we'll meet at 6. I can meet you at 6.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye. Yeah, so that's really sad, like how people are. Like he's violating a whole court order, right? Yeah, he's violating a whole court order. I'm just really starting to. Daniel's type of personality is just not compatible with mine. Like it's so disrespectful, right? Let me find out how much Tuli and Jessica paid for his food. Hold on, y'all.
All right, the person.
Yeah. Yeah, so sorry about that. That was Daniel there trying to, he's violating the whole court order, right? He didn't come home last night. That's in total violation of the court order. See, his court order is set up instead of him being having that ankle bracelet on him. So you know how some people have house arrest. I knew that that wouldn't work. And plus, I didn't want to be leaving people. I don't want to be gone away from my residence and people are in my residence on house arrest. And this is because of this. When you got somebody at your house on house arrest, while you're gone, they have to stay at the house. It's mandatory, but they can let whomever they want to in your house. You can come home and they got 50 drug addicts and be having a whole party in your house while they got that ankle monitor on. So house arrest, it's my preference not to do that because I like to be able to say, no, I don't want this person at my residence. It's like you are literally being made to have this person in your house. And if they are an abusive person, like with Daniel's personality, he has tendencies to be abusive. So what you don't want is an abuser at your house on no freaking ankle monitor that has to stay in the house. So the other option, instead of doing house arrest as part of the court order, they did a kind of like a 24-hour supervision type thing. So I'm supposed to supervise Daniel, you know, confirm his whereabouts. Daniel asks where he can go just until the, you know, court order is over with. It's just for a certain amount of time as well, right? So he's violating it. He's been violating that court order since he's been out. I mean, he tries to do well. I see the areas where he's doing the best he could do, but see, I'm not one of those just freely willy moms. So I don't just, I obey the court order. So if the court order says I'm supposed to supervise, watch, know where the child is at, support the child or teen and staying off drugs. Hold on 1 second. Hello? Hello?
$16 for my food.
Okay, so that's 16. Okay, so that was all. What about a tip?
They didn't tip.
Okay, so
Yeah, they didn't tip.
because I haven't opened the check yet.
Well, how much is it?
I didn't open it. I haven't opened it. Yeah, I was hoping you would come home so we could open it. But yeah, so I can meet you at about 6.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah, so he's doing this, and then that's part of the probation too. Any monies that he's earning as part of the probation, because they're helping him like with paid internships and stuff like that. So any monies. So basically, according to the court order, and the PO explained this too. According to the court order, Daniel, you need to do what your mother tells you to do. And, you know, and because the judge and the courts determine that I am someone that will watch my child, make sure, you know, offer the correct support and stuff like that. But Daniel, he wasn't home last night. Okay, this is Sunday. So he left yesterday between like noon and 2 p.m. And I haven't seen him since yesterday between noon and 2. and that's a violation of the court order. Some ghetto parents, they don't, they do the same as the child. They don't obey the court order. They give a child drugs. They give them vape. They let them drink in the house. I'm not allowing any of that. So I actually comply with what a judge is asking. But the thing is, Daniel is not complying. And because he's not 5, 8, 9, or 10, I can't fully stop him. It's out of my control. So from his perspective, he sent me some text earlier saying it's like slavery, like people want control. And all that happens, this is not Daniel's first court order. This is Daniel's second court order. When he had his first diversion court agreement, he didn't complete that and he violated that. Yes, it does, Natalie, but this is the thing. He just started staying all night. It does. It does. It puts me in an unstable standing with the court order, but now it's spiraling out of control. So I'm going to take care of the situation. Okay. Because, and I'm not saying it has to be taken care of. I've already, listen, let me tell you this, Natalie. I go to the probation meetings and I've already talked to the lady. Okay. His beautiful probation officer. I've grown to have very kind feelings of love and respect for this lady. And I think it's vice versa for us. However, you can take a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. If Daniel would have complied with the first diversion court order probation, he wouldn't even be on this one. When he violates these court orders, then there's another court order that's longer. All Daniel's doing is making a bunch of people that is not black a bunch of money. Okay, this is what he's doing. The judges get paid, the lawyer paid, the probation officer get paid, the drug treatment mental health facility gets paid when they do his evaluations. The cab drivers get paid, the Uber drivers get paid, the public transportation coaches and buses get paid. Oh, speaking of coaches and buses, y'all, did y'all see my video where I was on the coach bus and I was freaking saying I'm on the train and y'all could see the damn freeway? I'm like, oh my God, people must subscribe and view here because I'm out of my damn mind. I meant to say the bus. I was not on the damn train. I apologize for that. So I'm glad I brought that up so I could correct that. Goodness gracious. I was on that video and I was like, yeah, I'm on. It was just one part. The other parts, I called it a coach, and I was using the transportation word, and I was kind of tired, y'all. Isaiah and I had just left the blood pressure class. So Isaiah's on the video kind of looking a little serious, mean mugging and mean out the window. But Isaiah was totally jolly and happy when we were at the blood pressure class. So you're getting to see and hear how me and Isaiah are after the class. Because that was on June 4th. Yeah, June 4th, I did that live. Go to my live that I did on June 4th. And that would have been Thursday. And you will hear me in that video talking about the train. I'm on the train. I'm not on the damn train. I was on the coach bus. That's why you got to review your video. But I was also using the word transportation, I think. So I meant to say train. And there's a couple of videos I'm going to be doing like corrections on and stuff, right? So yeah, like Natalie said, with the court order, yeah, but mostly because Natalie, I'll answer this way. So Natalie's question was, does that put me in an unstable standing with the court order? I've already been mentioning to the probation officer to explain to Daniel, because before he started skipping out and not coming home, which is really scary when he doesn't come home because it's not really his norm. His norm is not to stay out all night. Now he's moved out and went to a shelter and was gone all day and night, but when he's actually living here, it's not his norm. So when he first did it Friday night through Saturday morning, it really scared Isaiah and I. We be so scared we don't know if he's dead or alive. His phone going to voicemail. And you know, we've had a history with Daniel that when he goes off the radar, something has happened. Like last year, last June, he went missing. And we found him. He was in jail. Thank the Lord he was not passed away. You know, Isaiah and I, we love Daniel. We love Daniel. We really do. I just don't feel as if he loves us. I'm starting to believe he's not capable of love at this point in the way that Isaiah and I are. So I just don't feel like all of what I've done for him. And see, I'm famous for this, right? I'm famous for this. A lot of people struggle to say this. They don't like saying this person does not love or give a fuck about me. But because of my history dealing with narcissists, even from my own grandmother when I was a child, y'all, my mother, you know, lately I have been calling my mother and my grandmother narcissistic sociopaths. I'm sorry they rest in their afterlife, but their behavior, like my mother and grandmother wouldn't have gave a fuck about Daniel. They would have just kept hanging out with their man, running their restaurant. And I'm sorry, at the end of the day, I hate to say it, but I'm probably going to end up having to adopt the same parenting style. It doesn't make you a narcissistic sociopath to kind of begin to detach from a brutally disrespectful and very hateful and wicked natured child that's now no longer a little bitty boy or girl. You got to start protecting yourself. Just like now, he wants his check. Well, I picked up the check for him from the job coach. This check, I've had this check several days, but the streets and the drugs and the vape and the liquor, all of that's more important than this check. So my thing is, I'm doing my live. I didn't know when he was coming back. Then he said he was at church. I didn't believe it. For basically up to 2 weeks, he's been lying about his whereabouts. I'm at the library. I'm out to eat. I'm here. I'm at an event. I'm at school. And then I'm finding out after the fact, he's actually not at these places. And I find out because I show up at the place. Like Saturday, he said he was going to the library. I said, well, fine, go ahead. He wouldn't wait on me. That was a sign that he wasn't going to go to the library. When I got to the library, I did an actual beautiful letter. I did a really nice letter regarding this embezzlement case. And of course, I'm being embezzled. I'm not embezzling money. Somebody's robbing my monies. Okay. So an embezzlement is when someone takes money that's supposed to be used for another purpose. So if you go pay your light bill and the person that's supposed to credit your light bill money to your account does not do it, or they purposely put it on their account or someone else's, that's embezzlement. They're using funds for an incorrect purpose. So Daniel did not come home. I haven't seen Daniel since noon, about 11 or noon yesterday. He got up Saturday. I have not seen him since. And so with the probation, Natalie, I'll say this. So the thing is, you got to remember this. He's on the probation. So he's under the law considered what you call the criminal. Okay. Which I don't view us as criminals, but it's an effort to get the child together. So I will remain in stable standing because Daniel is going to force me into a situation where it has to leak out. He basically hasn't been here. Friday, he left for school. He did not return. He went to school Friday. He did not return here Friday till Saturday at about 3 a.m. in the morning. And then he rested from 3 a.m. till Saturday morning, about 11, and left out of here between noon and 2 p.m. Saturday. And I haven't seen him since. So I'm not going to be in an unstable standing because something has to be done about it. And unfortunately, I will have to tell the truth. Because what you don't want to do is you become a criminal. It's criminal in nature for a child that's on probation to be gone basically the whole weekend without my permission. Remember, the agreement says you have to have your mother's permission to stay out all night. And I would not give permission for Daniel to stay out all night unless he was going to the church camp. You know, the church has a camp where they go for a few days. So he is allowed to stay the night when they go on their he stayed all night a couple of times when he went to camp. Like when he was little, he went to Islandwood. He was gone 4 days. And you know, Scooter them went, you know, I've been going with my cousins. So, and then I've known you know, Pastor Dan them for over a decade now, since Daniel was a young boy. And so if Daniel, he does internships and he basically you know, works. He does a lot of work at the church and has been doing so for years, which is very good. So Daniel would be allowed to go on one of their church trips, which they would be gone 3 or 4 days. But Daniel wasn't on a church trip. He's out, wrinkled, raggedy clothes with a beer smelling backpack that he probably still has on him. It smells like liquor and beer. He can't take that to the probation meeting. So, like I said, everybody gets paid. Yeah, I am. And this is why Natalie says, please make sure you check in with your body. You are experiencing situations that can increase stress. Yes. And I did a check-in Thursday with my body when I went to the blood pressure class with my doctor. Hello, Isaiah.
Can you cash out your mother?
Yes. How you need 15 for right now?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll cash up you 15.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. I love you, Isaiah.
Let me too.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Oh, did I hang up too soon? Hold on. So people are so funny when you call them and you just call them and they don't answer. Yeah, but Natalie says, please make sure to check in with your body. Your blood pressure class that I went to on June 4th, which was Thursday, Natalie, my doctor was also in that class. Okay, so my physician, 2 of my doctors were there, my medical physicians, and my blood pressure, my top blood pressure number was 142, which is considered high, elevated. It's not just elevated. The top number that's elevated. But once it hits 140, that's high blood pressure. But I'm not in a hypertension crisis. Yet I have had headache. I do believe in this. You can unalive yourself. So that's why I try to stay very calm and I set a standard. So Daniel ran off the whole weekend. This check been here several days. It's his check. He owes Isaiah and I money, but the check is not open. I have not opened the check. But Natalie, I don't know if you heard when Daniel called. He want to meet with me now. I didn't know whether he coming back or not. He texted me early and say he not coming back. This situation, let me tell you something, Natalie and everybody. This is how you fix it. Okay. This is how you fix it. Don't help people. Daniel will be the last person I will help that's in the criminal justice system. The only exception I would make is if I'm with a relative and somebody jumps on me and my relative protect me and they get a manslaughter case. Only help me if I get locked up. I'm gonna give you an example. I was on the bus yesterday, y'all, and it was just a 10-minute bus ride. And these people, they were Native Americans, and they got real disrespectful with this real sweet little white lady that, you know, she's real sweet. Like one of the kind, and she always, you know, does whatever she can to help me out, you know. And so yeah, Natalie, he is. Yeah, Daniel's going down a path that he doesn't need to go down. And why? Drug addiction, lack of love for yourself. I won't feel guilty because I did the best I could do. See, I could be on drugs too. I could fucking wake up tomorrow and use my grandmother as an excuse to use drugs, right? He ain't been through nothing that the rest of us haven't gone through. We just go through different stuff. My grandmother smothered me at 9, took a whole pillow for a reason. And I'll do a separate video about that. When I was 9 years old, she took a pillow and started smothering me. But I am not on drugs. I knew the lady was crazy and wicked at 17 years old. I silently fled her and escaped her. That's it. I don't get high behind it. You don't have to do that. It's freaking excuse. The reason people do drugs is because of their wicked nature. Most of them have a wicked nature and they can't because see what Daniel don't realize when he do me and Isaiah dirty. Yeah, it's my belief, Natalie, that case being around addicts, there will be a few of them that could be empaths, but if I was the type of person that Daniel and other people behave like, if I treated someone that helped me as bad as he treat me, I would need to be high too. It's something they do to live with themselves. No psychologist don't tell them. And if I had a psychiatry degree, I would get my license taken in a fucking week. Because I'm gonna tell that child predator that's on dope, that shoot up heroin, that was already in the penitentiary for raping kids, and he's still on heroin, I'm gonna tell him, you still probably motherfucking rape kids, dog. That's why you need heroin. And you shouldn't have raped the ones you already did. You're a wicked motherfucker, and you need heroin to get rid of those thoughts of all the motherfucking kids you raped, dog. Get the fuck up out my office. Go find you some heroin. And drop me off some too, because I might need it. Fucking therapy, doing therapy on your child molester ass. Now I got spirits on me. look, I'm telling you, I've seen it. It's a reason. The reason a lot of people are alcoholics and drug addicts is because they cannot withhold their wicked nature. And they chose, instead of choosing to fix their wickedness, they chose to do drugs and alcohol. Wicked nature is actually fixable. All you got to do is just stop doing the evil shit. Just make a decision to stop it. Not wait on Jesus to do it. See, Daniel's waiting on Jesus. And these Christians, they wait on Jesus and they really don't read their Bible. It clearly says a disobedient child will not live all their days. Jesus not coming for him much more. He sent me a text. His Father in heaven is going to protect him. What Daniel doesn't understand is the Lord is in the process of protecting me and Isaiah from Daniel. The Lord is in the process of making sure that Isaiah and I slow down and we think more careful before we help him again. I don't know why a wicked drug addict actually believes they have more protection from the Lord than the people that's not on drugs that's helping their ass. Even if I was a drug addict, if I'm helping another drug addict, I am under more protection from the Lord because I'm the one helping someone try to do right. If you are an alcoholic and on drugs and you are helping a drug addict, that drug addict you helping, the Lord will swoop them on up out of here because the Lord have to protect the helper, whether they on drugs or not. The Lord is going to begin protecting Isaiah and I. Isaiah and I both was in that class June 4th, and our blood pressure was a little high. Not hypertension crisis high. And I'm not going to lie, considering what Daniel takes us through, I was actually quite happy that my blood pressure was not 180 or 220 for the top number because it has been that high. The Lord will hand Daniel over to a reprobate mind. Yeah, but yeah, it's their wickedness. Most drug addicts I have been around, they either have wicked nature or they're like Glenn Lee, okay, which is my grandmother's adopted son that was Irish and Italian. Glenn Lee was in the wrong placement and he was under narcissistic abuse. And I'll do a separate video about that. Because my grandmother was a narcissistic sociopath and she had some control over myself, Glenn Lee, my mother, and my little sister, Glenn Lee was the biggest victim in some sense because he was not a Black person. So my narcissistic sociopathic grandmother, she didn't love Glenn Lee enough not to adopt him. Glenn Lee did not belong in a Black family with a neglectful, narcissistic Black sociopath. But she didn't love Glenn Lee enough to place him in a better home. Actually, she fed his addiction. If Glenn Lee is short of cocaine money, he could always go to my narcissistic, sociopathic, biological grandmother and get cocaine money. My narcissistic grandmother was very jealous. From my perspective, she was jealous of my mother, my little sister, myself, and Glenn Lee, and several others. She had many things that she was jealous of about, and this is one thing she was jealous of. She knew this, that even though she maintained and owned her restaurant over 40 years, better than Glenn Lee. that means she made it. She knew inherently were actually more intelligent than my grandmother. Okay. My grandmother always knew that, so she wanted to kind of hold you back. Okay. My little sister could have been finished being raised by Nell Carter. You know, Nell Carter is our cousin. Okay. I forgot all about it till my little sister reminded me. The actress Nell Carter, that's our cousin from my grandmother's mother's side of the family, the Rice side and stuff. So yes, the actress Nell Carter, she used to come in my grandmother's restaurant. That is our biological cousin. She wanted to take Tina, my little sister. My grandmother didn't let her go because my grandmother did not want us to do better. Okay. And when I escaped her at 17, my grandmother just pretty much was in a minimal no contact. She didn't call me or nothing. I called her house, but it was to talk to my baby sister. Oh, I gotta send Isaiah his Cash App. Hold on 1 second, y'all. I gotta Cash App Isaiah. Goodness gracious, I feel so bad. Hold on. Sorry about that. I had to. So hopefully y'all come back into the live. Let me see. Once I stop talking, people will leave. So yeah. So Natalie, yeah, that's my perspective, Natalie, about the drug addiction stuff. And this has been through that most of the people that I've seen that were addicted for years and years, over a decade at a time. I knew people that tried drugs. I've met people that say they tried crack once or twice, never did it again. I know people that say they got drunk a couple of times, never did it again. But someone that has extreme addiction, a lot of those people are not empaths. They're not empathic and they're not normal. So a lot of them are narcissistic sociopaths and they are narcissists. Like my ex-aware narcissist, he struggles with alcoholism. He's a narcissist. If he didn't have that personality, he wouldn't need to be drunk like that. See, they getting drunk and they getting high on a regular because of the wicked stuff they've done to people. A person that's been victimized, they can normally survive being victimized. I mean, I watch crime cases and yeah. So Natalie says, you've had a rich experience in this life, and by rich, I use that as the history and lessons. Yeah. So I'm telling you what I've witnessed, not what I've seen on a video, totally what I've seen in person. And I'm saying it about my own son. If my son wasn't so mean and wicked, Elijah being the worst, Daniel at least tries. If he would display the kindness that Isaiah and I and others have displayed towards him and did it regularly, he wouldn't need drugs. He wouldn't need it. This information that I'm giving you will help you heal and not feel so stressed out by people that are addicted. You see a lot of these addicted people on the streets and stuff. You know, we live in a country, in the United States, they allow this stuff, right? So we live in a bad place anyway, but the government ain't putting no gun in our head making us do it. It's wicked within itself to dope your body up like that. The Bible say that your body is your temple. So it's wording it like your body is special. It's something, Lord. So that right there, if I decide to do that to my temple, if I did what Daniel and other addicts do to their temple, that alone makes me wicked. What I'm doing to the body that the Lord gave me, I'm wicked to myself. That's who they abusing the most, themselves. If Daniel have a drug overdose, if he overdoses or becomes paralyzed or dies or is in anything tragic, I'ma still be on here doing these videos. It's the truth. I will be here till I'm 100 doing these videos based on my choices not to be on substances. You got to get over these people. They doing it to themselves and they don't have to do it. I feel sorry for me and Isaiah. He had to break the court order. He knew that Isaiah and I blood pressure was high on Thursday. Isaiah and I told Daniel about our blood pressure status. The very next day, after he knew our blood pressure was high, Daniel did a dirty deed and decided to run off. And we calling him, he ain't answering, he ain't texting. We heard police, helicopters everywhere. We like, oh my God, something happened to Daniel. He does not love us or anyone. He's a very selfish natured person. And if he doesn't stop it, his day will come. He's a twisted minded person too. Daniel, he sent me a text. He said his Father in heaven will protect him. And his Father in heaven has protected him by putting him on the probation that says, do what your mother say. But his Father in heaven is not going to continue to protect him in the way that he thinks. He's actually getting away from the Lord's protection. He's not going to get extra protection from the Lord with the way he treat the people the only two people. Isaiah and I were the only two people that was at court and at that jail. He has no one else but me and Isaiah. Daniel has no one else. Me and Isaiah or Daniel's ride or dies. But my blood pressure high. So, hey, I'm home alone. Daniel's not here. I can't give a creep like this my house key. I don't give anyone my house key. No one. And it's safer for Isaiah not to have it because that way Elijah and Daniel know Isaiah doesn't have the house key, so Isaiah can't be robbed or hurt by two diabolical brothers that would take the key from him to come in here to hurt me. They know Isaiah doesn't have the key, so it's a protection for Isaiah. And if he has the key, if Isaiah has the key, I'm not going to let Daniel or Elijah know. Daniel is an enemy. That is my son. I love Daniel. I do. I love him with all my heart, but he is an enemy of mine. That is my enemy. That is not my ally. And use this as an example. On one live, Natalie said she don't want children no more. So let's carry the blessing on. I wish I would have heard me talking before I had children. I don't regret. The children are here. But I only have one child out of all the children I had that truly shows me that they are grateful for anything I've done. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to paint a fantasy. Only one of my children has verbally taken up for me, defended me, and has showed any gracefulness or gratefulness for anything I've ever done, and it's Isaiah. To say that he's grateful and show it. Isaiah is at work right now. He doesn't live off me. He doesn't use me. Everything he gets, he's buying it for himself. Isaiah is not a swindler. He's not a con artist. He provides and takes care of himself. He doesn't require mommy or mother that has high blood pressure to do it. But Daniel and Elijah and the rest of my children, they do not love me. Okay? And it's okay. Nobody can hate you more than somebody you gave birth to. That's a quote of mine. There's nobody that can hate you more than somebody you gave birth to. And if you really want them to hate you, try to do right by them. Now, those narcissistic, sociopathic parents, if I was some old crack addict, alcoholic, narcissistic, sociopath that didn't know how to love, then my children would love me. Remember that. Children love bad parents. Okay? Most of them won't love ride or die parents and loyal, decent parents. Okay? Decent meaning having moral value. I fell in love with the word decent when Isaiah called me a decent mother. And I looked up the word. It means good, a person with morals. I love the word decent now. Someone with moral values. And the Lord has already started my wicked children. Remember, I told you I have some that are already passed away. One died from a stillbirth, and one of my children has already been killed. I'm not making this up. There's a higher karmic realm that has decided that my child is not worthy enough to be alive as long as I am. Daniel is not my first wicked child. My firstborn was wicked as well. And this is because you have to be careful who you have your children by. Okay? I suggest you vet a man. The ladies that are having some good outcomes with their children, they have their children by empathetic men, a true empath. Okay? A true empath. But if you go out here and you having children with sociopaths and narcissists, and that's what you attract and that's what you chose. I didn't know all this information when I had my children. I started having children at 15. But even if they still can be very wicked natured. Okay. So thank you so much for the likes, y'all. But yeah, I don't sugarcoat it. Daniel, he's not my protector. The thing with Daniel is Elijah, he told me. He said, I'm not your protector. Elijah told me he's Kaylin protector. I protected Elijah when the SWAT team came to arrest Elijah. I made sure I got into a little tussling match with one of the officers to secure Elijah's life. Okay, but that's where the psychopathy comes in at. Some missing in the brain. They just wicked people. Sometimes ain't nothing missing in the brain. They just wicked natured people. And so unfortunately, over time, it may come a time where I say, you know, Daniel, I can't help you no more. Right? So that's where I'm at with Elijah. So what I do with wicked children, once I really determine and I process it through logic. And I'm best to determine that someone is actually wicked because I'm not high when I'm doing it. I do it in a sound mind. So I do and I will at some point make a decision that I don't want to help this wicked person no more, and I get out the situation. Sometimes there's somebody I could get a wicked person to, like with my oldest daughter. I gave her wicked ass to her wicked father. Take the wicked person and send them to their wicked father. Or if they got a wicked mother, send that wicked ass child to their wicked ass mother. Whatever way, because sometimes it's not the father that's wicked. And doing this, I've experienced a lot of peace and freedom. And it's actually it's a I'm being protected as well, because it's better that he be gone out the house talking about Daniel than being here doing his favorite career, calling me the B word every blue moon up under his breath or in a low voice, still calling me the B word here and there. So he's gone on drugs, but in some sense, I am the one that's being protected by the Lord, because the Lord is once again assisting and giving my abuser or giving an abusive person something else to do other than hang around me. The Lord will always find another activity for an abusive person to do to keep them away from me. That's one of the many blessings that the Lord provides upon me, because my heart is good. It's just that not everyone I will help will be good. And like I said, even if you are addicted, I have seen my daughter's father, my firstborn daughter's father, he has a lot of wicked nature. He's an alcoholic, and the Lord still chose him over our wicked ass daughter that's now deceased, that was killed. She wasn't shot, but she was killed. Because he had, my daughter's father at least helped her, even through his wicked nature himself and his evilness, and even him struggling with alcohol abuse himself, he still had a good enough Scorpio soul to help his hyena ass daughter that we had. And so the Lord still chose him over her. Because remember, I do the comparison of the wicked. Remember, I do those series and parts. I have a playlist, go through my lives. I do the comparison of the wicked. So if you had to do a comparison of the wicked, which I know the Lord looks at that as well, the Lord chose to protect my daughter's father in Texas. And I agree with the Lord decision. My daughter has no value to her children, me, or her father. And why she need to be here if she's just here to do wickedness and use drugs, same as Daniel. So the Lord frees the drug addicts that help these drug addicts and abusers, and the Lord will free people like myself that don't struggle with addiction. Okay, and it is a choice. I could wake up tomorrow and decide to be just like Daniel's wicked ass. And if I wake up tomorrow that way, it ain't the devil doing it. I just decided to be a fucked up individual. I don't do all this blame shifting, all this chronic pathological blame shifting, everything we do. Oh, if I do something good, it's the Lord's fault. If I do something bad, it's the devil's fault. It's all my fault because I'm making a logical decision what I want to do every day and all day. So this is just, I guess, part of my testimony. And you got to remember, I was raised by narcissistic, sociopathic females. So they don't teach you anything, right? There's no teaching of be careful what kind of man you get with. James died, I was only 13. So a lot of this I had to learn on my own. And considering my background, I came out quite lucky. Just have boundaries. Daniel been gone all weekend. I've been here. I've passed by this bank machine every day, and he been gone all weekend, violating a court order. Isaiah walked past some yesterday. Daniel hanging out with some people. Isaiah just walked on past him and shook Daniel's hand. I told Isaiah, you doing the right thing. Because the thing with Elijah and Daniel, this is the sad part. And I'm noticing this with Daniel too. It's sad. But the people that, none of these people that Daniel is around will be there for him when he's in the hospital again, seriously injured or incarcerated. Okay? Those people come before Isaiah and I. Remember that. With wicked people, the people that are kind, that help them, are not a priority. Daniel knows that Isaiah and I blood pressure was high on Thursday. He's done nothing to support us. Won't even help me carry a bag, y'all. He won't help me do anything. And he went to church today. Daniel says he's went to church. I think he was telling the truth because he went out to eat with Tuli and Jessica. And I told him pay them their money back. You know. And Tuli and Jessica, you know, they've struggled with addiction in their past. They're free of addiction, and now they new addiction is church. You shouldn't be addicted to anything, not even the church. Because this is the problem with it. If Pastor Dan church shut down, will they all be right outside with Daniel and the kids lighting up the smoke again? Because the church fucking closed? The fuck? These fucking idiots, man. I don't need to go to nobody's church every Sunday to stop putting a pipe in my mouth to smoke. Crack pipe, meth pipe, whatever these people use. I don't need to do that. Because I'm not a wicked person. If I was a wicked person, if I made a choice to live in the way that these wicked people, any of my baby daddies or any of my wicked children or any other people, if I behaved the way they are, my mother was very unfit and neglectful and was not a good mother. I would never treat my mother as horrible as my children me. And I've done, I would say, a much better job, you know, in just being a parent, actively being a parent. I'm still going to meet with Daniel's drug addict behind at 6 p.m. to assist him in cash his check. I provide a bank account so he has something to cash his check. Daniel missed out on a lot of time with his family this weekend. And the thing is, we might check out of here before Daniel. Ooh, that would be his punishment if me and Isaiah died first. Daniel would walk around this earth and just have memories of all the good we did for him. But the Lord is going to bless Isaiah and I. And it looks like he could check out first because that's the choice he's going to make. Like I said, we have many death dates, but you're only going to die on one day. You have a lot of choice in deciding the way you're going to die and when you're going to die. I don't believe in that part of the Bible where it says you just going to be meant to die on that day. That's not appropriate for all situations. Just like when Natalie did her research, not all humans have parasites, right? So it's not true that every single person was just meant to die on a certain day. If Daniel died of a drug overdose, he wasn't meant to die that day. That was a death date that he made happen for himself. It was just one of his many death dates. I could have 5 death dates just today. I could almost be having a heart attack right now. I could almost trip and fall and have a freak accident. I can almost choke on some food and die. I could almost have a stroke. I could have many death dates today. I could almost get into a fight and get killed today. Anything could happen. But hey, I hear people playing outside. If y'all hear kids playing in the background and stuff, y'all, those are the kids that are outside because I'm not in my makeshift studio. I actually did the video downstairs and I'm in my hallway downstairs and I have this big Chester drawer thingy. And yeah, so I did it downstairs today. So that's basically that. And I'm doing the best I could do. You can't make people do well. And this is the thing, you know, Daniel said he's in control, he's grown. He's very con artist like because he doesn't talk like that when we're signing the court orders. So just remember, wicked people, when you help them, they will put that facade up. They will act and conduct themselves accordingly till they get what they want from you. Then once you put yourself in the situation, and Daniel needed the support. I mean, for one, with juvenile cases, somebody need to show up for you to at least get you out of jail, right? And yeah, so you just remember that that's always a pattern, right? And this is not the first time I've seen that pattern. It's a pattern that I will free myself from at its own time. I'm one of those people too. I'm a legal person. Daniel is legally allowed to stay here. He is legally a resident. I added him to my lease under other occupants. He's not an applicant. He's not primary. He's not a co-applicant. He's in the same area where if I had a pit bull would be. If I added my pit bull to my lease, if I had one, then it would be under other occupants or other pets or, you know, so no one, I'm the only person that's primary on my lease. Like Isaiah say, Mom, you work for this. You know, that's one of the things Isaiah always commend me on, you know, just being able to have a decent enough credit report, having a decent enough income just to be able to put the down payment down, the application fees and stuff like that. That's one of my things. As being a parent, I feel like my job is to provide a residence for my children, just like my grandmother did for me. I'm paying it forward. That is something that I can never take away from my grandmother. Good or bad, she always provided a residence for me my entire life. Even when I stayed with my mother, my grandmother paid my mother's bills for me to be at my mother's house. And that's why I'm not on drugs right now. What if my grandmother hadn't done that? So I appreciate and I'm very grateful for my grandmother for that. I am. But just because somebody provides you a place It doesn't give them a right to smother you when you 9, assault you, assassinate your character, neglect you, talk about you behind your back, lie on you. It doesn't give a narcissistic sociopath a right to do that. And that's why I tell y'all, that's not what make them a narcissist. I speak about this. Narcissists help people all the time. It's the boundaries they cross while they helping you. You can't determine that someone's not a narcissist because they help people. They will help people. That's how they get their victims. My grandmother has to allow me to live in the residential part of her restaurant when I was 9. First, we was staying on beautiful Redbud. It was the most beautiful neighborhood in the world back in the day. But my grandmother has to allow me to stay there to victimize me, right? So you must understand, just because somebody paying for something and helping you doesn't necessarily mean they or a safe person or any of that. So that's just how it is. So I will be meeting with Daniel at 6 o'clock. Oh, Natalie says, I wish he would listen to your stories along. That would help him be well and understanding of you and his brother that love him. You know, Natalie, Daniel does listen to my videos. He does. He tells me he does. He came on here on the one of the live videos. I didn't name the live yet. It was about 30 minutes. Daniel was on one of my lives just recently. He listens to my videos, but this is what Daniel will do. So since Natalie mentions listen to my video, he listens to my videos and he will sometimes make fun of the video if it didn't get enough views. So say my video just got 6 views for that video, which will happen. Every video is different. This is a small channel. He'll gaslight and say I'm mad because I didn't get enough views, and none of that's true. Even a large channel, if I had 1 million subscribers, look at Ringo TV. One of his lives, he may have 50,000 views. The other live, he may have 5,000 views. Small or large, each live is going to have a varied amount of views. So Daniel listens, but the problem is it's the person that's listening. See, because he's wicked in nature, when he's listening to my videos, he's not hearing the way a good-natured person is. So what happens when Daniel listens to my videos, and I told Daniel this, it's very sick what he does. And I told him, I said, this is very sick behavior. Yeah, I agree, Natalie, oh dear. So this is what he does when he listens to my videos. He gets jealous. He mocks me. He waits for one of my videos to have 6 or 8 views to make fun of it. Yeah. Oh, he's listening. He is listening, but not retaining the correct information. And that's why I do the videos. I did have a teenager. You know, I've been having teenagers come into my videos, the comparison of the wicked, and the teenagers are learning. I had a teenager in here on the comparison of the wicked, and he was a male. He was asking me questions on how he could not be that way. Me describing Daniel made another teenager say, oh, no, dog, what can I do not to be like he is? And I told the teenager exactly. I don't remember what my response was, but in that comparison of the wicked, I gave him the answer he needed to his question. Yeah. And If Daniel wants to, he can change himself, especially if he chooses to live drug-free. But if he's waiting on Jesus, he's going to be waiting a long time. That's all I can say on that. He's going to be waiting a long time, and he won't have the best outcome just waiting on Jesus. I've already told him the truth, that Jesus ain't going to do it for you. You got to, Jesus has already done it for him. Now Jesus and the Lord, the creator, which is the Lord, Jesus ain't going to do anything for him. The creator of Jesus is the one that going to do it for you. God Almighty, which is a spirit, not a man. Jesus is deceased, honey. I'm going to do this other live about this video. This was the biggest gaslighting ever. This one man said there's no proof that Jesus existed. He said you can't prove if something didn't exist. You can prove if something didn't exist, because no one will ever see it, right? So this wall is here. This is my wall. If this wall didn't exist, no one will ever hit this wall or see it. It was the biggest gaslighting I think I've heard in a million years. It's a doctor too. There is proof that Jesus exists because it talks about him in the Bible. I exist, so people, even if YouTube got completely deleted, somebody after my death or before I die could remember my videos because this video existed. Let me go find this video. Talking about he said there's no proof that something didn't exist. It is proof that it didn't exist because nobody will ever see it or be able to touch it. Or it won't be ever discussed. You got disciples and apostles that witnessed Jesus being alive. It's written. That is the proof that Jesus existed. That's one proof. Now, it may not be enough proof for everybody. But what this man said is no proof that something didn't exist. That's the craziest piece of shit I ever heard in my life. If something didn't exist, it is proof that it didn't exist because no one will ever see it, hear it, or talk about it. Hold on, I'm gonna let you hear this video.
Must watch this video. This 10 years old lecture from Dr. Ray Huggins still resonates.
His name is Dr. Ray Huggins. He's going to gaslight you. And you don't even have to be a religious person to hear the gaslighting. Fair use, y'all.
Check this out. Let me know if you agree.
I know I'm going to say some stuff, and when I get ready to say something that I know is outside of your circumference of awareness, so that it kind of prepares you for what I'm about to say that you don't like there is no Jesus. I want you to understand why Brother Ray is here. I want to say something.
And also in the video, when he says there's no Jesus, he showed a picture of that white photo of Jesus. Jesus is not a white male. Let's start there. So it's that Jesus. It's that Jesus because Jesus is not a white male. Okay. So we can first start there. This is Dr. Ray Higgins or Haggins, Dr. Ray Haggins. But what's bothersome is when he says there's no proof that something did not exist. Yes, it is, because if something did not exist, you can't hear it, see it. Nobody ever touched it. Nobody can mention it, see it, or talk about it for centuries later. Because it didn't exist. But when something does exist, it's discussed. Like I said, if YouTube was completely deleted, I existed. So Natalie could be talking about my videos decades and decades later. Okay? Because this channel existed. Irene existed. So there is proof. If something did not exist, there is proof that it did not exist because no one will ever touch it, feel it, or talk about it or hear it. This man's crazy. But his gaslighting would work if you ain't using your brain.
Jesus. You should understand why Brother Ray is here. I want to say something today that will really begin the process.
But he called himself Brother Ray, right? He Brother Ray to who? But he claimed Jesus didn't exist. See, the word and the terminology, brothers and sisters, that began with Jesus and his apostles. Just him calling himself a brother. Now, he may never have felt the Holy Spirit and felt Jesus in his soul, or the type of soul he may not, this Dr. Ray Hagins, he may not even believe that somebody can be as kind-natured as Jesus. Dr. Ray Hagins, he may not even believe that there's a Lord and a creator that loved Jesus the way Jesus was loved by our Heavenly Father. Okay, that's what's happening with Dr. Ray Hagins. This is a psychopath that's unable to feel the love of Jesus, or to even believe that a man such as Jesus exists. Fair use, y'all.
Begin the process of undoing the programming that literally has disconnected us from reality. A young lady asked me to prove to her that Jesus never existed, or that Moses never existed.
This is where he's going to gaslight. A young lady asked him to prove to him if Jesus never existed.
It is impossible to prove the non-existence of a thing.
And that's not true what he said. He said it is impossible to prove the non-existence of a thing. No, it is very easy to prove that something did not exist because it never existed. So there's not going to be any evidence of something that did not exist. So from my perspective, it's easy to prove if this wall, see, I'm knocking on it. If this wall never was here, I can't never knock. I can't never say I knocked, and you never hear that I knocked. I can't witness that I'm seeing this wall or knocking on this wall. You can't witness that I'm on this channel talking about the wall and hitting on this wall if it did not exist. So he told you an outright lie. It is a lie that you cannot prove if something did not exist. If something never existed, it's the easiest thing to prove because it never was there. It never existed. So it's very easy to prove because no one ever sees it, talks about it, hears it, or feels it. Or there's no witnesses that it existed.
Prove the non-existence of a thing. Think for me for a moment. If something never existed, how can I prove that it doesn't exist?
I just answered that dumbass question. And this man has doctor on his name. That's very disturbing. He's evidence that not all doctors are very intelligent. It's just a label. It's just a label in his case. Now, some doctors have the label and can figure out what I just explained to you. So this man is gaslighting and outright lying. This is a big old obese man. If he'd never existed, it would be easy to prove that he did not exist because his big fat black ass wouldn't be on this video right now that I'm watching. talking about there's no proof. You cannot prove if something did not exist, and there's no proof of Jesus existing. It's just as much proof of Jesus existing, just like it's proof that this fat black ass man is on this video. This man is crazy, and you got to be careful and make sure you're breaking stuff down and using logic and really listening to what he's saying. I didn't get sidetracked by his Dr. Martin Luther King type of voice. I totally listened to the information, and the man is outright wrong. There is full proof if something did not exist, because it didn't exist. There's no proof of it. The Bible alone gives existence to Jesus. Okay? Now, you don't have to believe that that's enough for you to believe it. Like Cynthia G. She knows about the Bible, but when Cynthia G goes on Google and she can't find nothing else that proves there's a Jesus, then Cynthia G, she's a YouTuber, she's a content creator, she doesn't believe it. And I don't have a problem with that belief. It's your own perspective. I have more of a problem with this black man, Dr. Ray Haggins, saying that you can't prove something didn't exist. He would have to explain that further. And he wouldn't out debate me on that. Because I would do right here, the wall example. I just proved it. It would be easy to prove this wall was never here. Nobody knocks on it. There's no witnesses. Nobody ever hears or sees it. You didn't witness or hear me knocking on this wall right here. This is the sound of the wall. I'm right downstairs today. So fair use, y'all, for this video.
That it doesn't exist. So I told her, I said, let me reverse.
Hold on.
So I told her, I said, let me reverse the challenge. Prove to me that they did exist. And I will pay all of your living expenses for the rest of your life. And I asked her, I said, you're asking me to prove to you that there was no Adam, there was no Eve, there was no Noah, you asked me to prove this to you. Did you ask your original teacher who taught you this to prove to you then that they existed? No. The answer is no. I didn't do it. I was raised with a belief system. I was raised in a belief system. And I accepted it, I digested it without ever verifying the existence of anybody I had been taught about. Can I get a witness? If you would be honest with me, you have to say, well, he is telling the truth. Telling the truth. Telling the truth, because that is right. We didn't stop to ask for proof. And we grew up believing it until somewhere in our psycho paradigm, it has become our reality. It has become our reality. That doesn't mean it's real, though. It simply means it's our reality. If you believe something that is not in the context of fact and reality, you have a mental disorder. If you believe that Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer had a very shiny nose, if you believe that.
And what he's doing there is devaluing the belief in Jesus by comparing Jesus to Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Okay, now it's very much possible that Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer did not exist. But Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and Jesus are two different figures in history, right? One is automatically fiction. We all know that Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer did not exist. So he's playing a mind game with you right now. And what Dr. Ray Haggins is doing, and I'll put this video down in the description box, he's playing a mind game that works because of his title. Okay, so because he has the label doctor, people are actually gonna, some people, not all people, some people will feed into his garbage. Okay, his way of thinking is garbage. Okay, he's not even using basic intelligence at this point. Being book smart doesn't make you always intellectually that bright.
That Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer had a very shiny nose. If you believe that, as an adult, something's wrong. Religion has done that to us. It has us believing stuff that's got us messed up as a people.
Everyone must watch this video. This 10 years old lecture from Dr. Ray Huggins still resonates. Check this out. Let me know if you agree.
I know I'm going to say some stuff, and when I get ready to say something that I know is outside of your circumference of awareness, so it kind of prepares you for what I'm about to say, that like there is no Jesus. I want you to understand why Brother Ray is here. I want to say something today that will really begin the process of undoing the programming that literally has disconnected us from reality. A young lady asked me to prove to her that Jesus never existed, or that Moses never existed. It is impossible to prove the non-existence of a thing. Think for me for a moment. If something never existed, how can I prove that it doesn't exist? So I told her, I said, let me reverse the challenge. Prove to me that it did exist. And I will pay all of your living expenses for the rest of your life. And I asked her, I said, you're asking me to prove to you that there was no Adam, there was no Eve, there was no Noah, you asked me to prove this to you. Did you ask your original teachers who taught you this to prove to you then that they existed? No. The answer is no, I didn't do it. I was raised with a belief system. I was raised in a belief system. And I accepted it, I digested it without ever verifying the existence of anybody I had been taught about. Can I get a witness? If you would be honest with me, you have to say, well, he is telling the truth. He's telling the truth, because that is right. We didn't stop to ask for proof. And we grew up believing it until somewhere in our psycho paradigm, it has become our reality. It has become our reality. That doesn't mean it's real, though. It simply means it's our reality. If you believe something that is not.
And he's a con artist from my perspective. He has a right to his perspective. The way he explained it, I didn't listen to his full teachings. Maybe there's more to it. But just what he stated, there's no proof that something did not exist. I actually already debunked that. And he has this overt, kind of loud, strong voice presence, kind of like he's the Dr. Martin Luther King type of figure. And some people will agree with a perspective just because of that. And he has the title of a doctor, which doesn't mean what he's saying in this area makes sense. And he has a right. I mean, if he believes that Jesus did not exist, like I said, Cynthia G believes it as well. But if every photo and video of me got deleted and my birth certificate was also wiped off the records as well, the proof that I exist will be through other people witnessing that they heard, spoke to me, and knew me. So I still existed. So the proof that Jesus existed is the Bible and what's written in the Bible. That's the proof. Now, the issue with that is, and I've stated this before, I don't believe everything that's in the Bible. I don't believe the white photos of Jesus. because in the Bible, the description of Jesus is not blonde, blue haired, blonde, blue eyed. I mean, that's not the description of Jesus. It said that Jesus had hair like wool. Sounds kind of like my hair, this me and Daniel's hair that locks and dreads, right? So yeah, Daniel, the description of Daniel meets the description of Jesus in the Bible, not the white photo. And my son actually meets the description. Now, is Daniel acting like Jesus all the time? No. Daniel needs to be more Christ-like in his nature, and he can work on that. So, and Natalie, thank you for saying that Daniel should kind of like listen to what I'm saying and stuff, or should listen to my videos. But I gave you the reason why that's not working. Okay. So, oh, and Natalie, thank you for going back and watching some of those videos about the psychopathic bullying, because those videos were not lives. Those were just straight from the scrapboard videos. Those videos, that psychopathic bullying series that I did, where I was talking about the queer and stuff with that issue, that was before YouTube even allowed me to do lives. Yeah. I was not even allowed to do lives. Yeah. You know, doing lives on YouTube, you kind of got to earn that. You got to earn that privilege. So I did the work to earn that privilege. I sure did. Yeah. Thank you, Natalie. Hopefully what I'm teaching saves your life. And hey, Natalie, if you ever do, if you're anointed to be a mother, hey, maybe you will be an even better one, you know, than I am. And maybe I just give you realistic parenting perspectives, because this problem with how children are acting, youth, teens, young adolescents, anyone that's 30 and under, and just the whole global problem in the United States with the disrespect, it's happening to decent parents, non-decent parents, drug addicted parents, non-drug addicted parents. This problem is happening to everybody. Yeah. So Natalie, if that isn't your walk in life to have children, because Natalie snapped on one video. I did one video and Natalie said no for her. See, I didn't have her information. YouTube wasn't around when I had children. So Natalie's sticking to her, what she's saying. And I do know this. I have cousins, relatives, friends that don't have children, and they live a beautiful life. Okay? I'm not a narcissistic, sociopathic female. So see, let me tell you what narcissistic, sociopathic females do. I've seen them do it. I had an elderly friend that did it. She would say, this is how she talked to. If someone don't want to have children, they selfish. I said, that is so not true. A person that doesn't have kids or children can donate $1 million a year to the Cancer Foundation. St. Jude. Okay, that's the Children's Cancer Hospital and Foundation. But it is not true that someone that does not have children is selfish. The most selfish people have children. And those are the people that will not do anything for their children. My mother was more selfish than anyone I've ever known that didn't have a child. Okay? Because she didn't do what she was supposed to or didn't try enough, you know? Not even something as simple as visiting your kids more often. But I lost my motorized toothbrush, y'all. I think I left it in the amenities over in where I went to earlier. So I'll find it. As long as I got my keys here. I'll be like sometimes losing my stuff. But yeah, so Natalie, you can have a beautiful life. The thing is having a full schedule. See, the thing is with me, one of the things I always did, thank you so much for the beautiful hearts. So okay, so Natalie says, hold on. Natalie says, anyways, I would be a geriatric pregnancy. So she's good. And then Natalie gives the beautiful hearts, the crying emojis, and all that stuff. Yeah, so a geriatric pregnancy, and remember y'all, fair use on that video I was playing. Let me see, geriatric pregnancy. I'm learning what that is. Oh, geriatric. Okay, geriatric pregnancy is an outdated term for a pregnancy occurring in someone aged 35 or older. Providers now prefer to use advanced maternal age, while fertility naturally declines and the risk for certain complications increases. Most AMA pregnancies progress smoothly and result in healthy deliveries. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I get what you're saying, but I've had both. I was about geriatric pregnancy age when I had Daniel. Okay, so but because of that, that's why he was my last child. So that makes sense, the risk factor in that makes sense. So I had children almost at geriatric pregnancy age, which would have been mainly Daniel, and I had them at teenage age. But Elijah and Daniel, they both were borderline at geriatric pregnancy age, but I still was not 35 or older. You know who had her son, the paternity court judge? She had her son after 35. I think she said she was about 40. I think he would be about maybe 10 or 15 now, maybe. I don't know. I think on one of her shows, I remember when he was about 8 or something. I don't think her son would be any older than 12 or 15 at this point. But she had a successful pregnancy at geriatric age. So and it's the paternity court judge, the pretty black lady, Lauren Lake. Yeah, Lauren Lake. Yeah, thank you, Natalie, for that. I was just looking that up as you typed it. Yeah, so she only has one. So the thing is, the smart thing, I wouldn't necessarily abort a child. but it is a medically smart move to not decide to have a child at geriatric pregnancy age, because I know one of my friends, Relo, she was one of my play cousins' godmom. Relo did that, and it's the reason that she ended up deceased. She got very ill, she was 70 some pounds when she died. She had both her eyeballs removed. This was Misha godmother, Relo. Relo was such in bad condition, and it was because of a pregnancy. The doctor warned Relo that the pregnancy could cause severe problems because Relo had underlying issues. I think one of them was diabetes. But yeah, Relo was at geriatric age when she had, I think her baby girl name was Deja. And so yeah, it ultimately ended up taking her out of here. She didn't die the same day she gave birth to her beautiful daughter Deja, but geriatric age pregnancies, it is risky. And my great grandmother, my grandmother's mother, died of childbirth. So yeah, this is it's very real. So you got to think before you do this stuff. And see, if you have a good, comfortable life now, see, a child right now, none of my children are here right now. One is at work. Yeah, her daughter's alive. Relo had 4 children, and all of them are alive as far as I know. And their father was their stepfather and Deja's biological father. His name was Swanico. So I love their names. Their names were so pretty. But yeah, Deja made it, but Relo didn't. And Natalie, you are just as much as valuable as a child that I ain't met, right? So we are valuable. It's not that old teaching, just children have more value than adults. Like when on the news they say, oh, they did it to a child. We were children once. Everybody is a child because all of us were children. So I ain't no less valuable because I get killed at 70 than if I get killed at 7. We are just as valuable as children because we are all equal human beings. It's just the child is younger and may be more vulnerable, but some adults are just as vulnerable. Okay? Depending on, their physical disabilities and stuff. A 7-year-old can open the door and run out the door and run away from a fire. But a 85-year-old that's bedridden that can't walk can't get out at all. So it just depends on the situation. So yeah, it is smart to think. You got to think. And thank you, Natalie, for bringing that geriatric pregnancy word up, because that is the correct word. And thank you for educating me on that word. And I appreciate that. And now we know what that means. Or what that means. So yeah, you can have a very fulfilling life with kids or without kids. One of the things I feel, I'm going to tell you where having children hurt my life. It hurt my finances, and it hindered some of the jobs that I probably would have been a good fit for that may have involved traveling. Because by nature, I'm a business lady. That is my talent, but it's kind of like I'm always using business lady skills. Even being on YouTube, business ladies, we come to YouTube, okay? Everybody can come to YouTube, no matter what. But this is the thing, Natalie. Please forgive me, Lord. I hope you're not listening, Daniel and everybody. But when I say this, I'm not going to include Isaiah. Isaiah is definitely a child that I should have had. But I feel like if I wouldn't have had children or so many, okay, say I would have just had Isaiah, I probably could still be a millionaire right now. Okay. But when you have children that kind of behave like Daniel and Elijah, now I'm getting ready to sound like my wicked grandmother. See, because I always say my grandmother put her money first, right? So I'm going to seem like a hypocrite when I say this, but your money may be more valuable than some of these children. It's the truth of the matter. When you have the wrong children, it is somewhat of a waste of your time. And time is valuable. So, yeah, thank you, Natalie, for saying makes sense. Yeah, we can help one another. Natalie says it's not too late. And you are one. Natalie, I think Natalie's made the comment when I said I was a business lady. But remember, having children helps my business skills. Okay, I've gained a lot of skills helping my children. However, also having children holds me back or has held me back from going into certain directions because I had too many. I had too many. Okay, that's the issue. However, I know people, I hang out with people with kids, I hang out with people without kids, and you do not. I am someone that has children, and I'm confirming to you that you do not have to have children to have a good life. If every child I had left the earth today, I do not need those children to have a good life. But what I do need is the Almighty Creator, the Lord, our Father in heaven. That I have to have. But I don't have to have my children. Now, if something was to happen to Isaiah, I would cry every day for a while. I'm very close to Isaiah. He's very good-natured. He's very kind. Okay? He's very responsible. I would cry if any of my children died. Hold on. This is one now. Hold on, y'all. Hello?
Where are you at, Mom?
I'm at home, Daniel.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, where are you at, son?
I was waiting for you.
Okay, where are you waiting at?
It's right outside.
Oh, you outside the door?
No, not the door. Next to the bank place.
Oh, the bank machine?
Yep.
Yeah, just wait over like at Taco Bell. I gotta go over there. I think I left my toothbrush in the restroom at the fitness center. So I gotta run up to the rental office and get that. My motorized toothbrush. Okay, so I'll so just wait over by the Taco Bell. Don't wait over by the bank machine. I think he hung up. And see, this is ghetto, right? How many people? That's why my thing is, okay, fine. I've had the kids I have. But what I do now is I have made a decision. Okay. The same decision Natalie's making, not to have pregnancies at geriatric age or not to be pregnant or not to have children at all. I'm not helping no more children. Okay. I'm not having any more and I'm not helping anymore. I think he just hung up on me. Stuff like this. He might not have, but I think he had. Because he's expecting me to wait by the bank machine for him. Like he's pimping. Right? Very sad.
Oh,
Hello. Just wait at the Taco Bell.
Okay, well, we'll just do it at like 9.
You want to do it at 9?
Yeah, we'll do it at 9. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Where
We're
you
doing
at?
it-
Where you at
I'm-
now?
Well, I'm gonna walk to Taco Bell. That's what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
Okay, we'll do it at 9. Yeah. You want to get my check next time? You hear me? Well,
I hear you.
okay, all right.
Okay. And see, the thing is, Isaiah and I went and met Justin to pick the check up. So this is the thing. So the decision that Natalie's making not to have children at all, that's for my future, right? And it's listen to his disrespect. This is Daniel.
Can I just do it myself?
I have to go to the machine with you, Daniel, because I have the bank card. Okay, so I'm not
I've
calling.
been waiting for
I'm
days
not
now.
gonna meet you at the machine to do the paperwork. I'm gonna do the paperwork at Taco Bell, and then we
Okay.
walk to the machine.
What paperwork?
A check has to be signed, Daniel.
Oh.
You have to take the check out the envelope. Basic things. When I
Well,
get
I want
to,
my shit, man. I'm tired of waiting. You're just playing games, and that's why I want to live here. Asking one.
you're cussing me. You're cussing me. You hear how he's talking to me, right? But this is what can happen if you have children. He said he doesn't want to live with my ass anymore. I'm playing games. I told him 6 o'clock. I'm just ending this live. The children now, the wicked people that people are calling their children, they're just wicked they're just wicked demonic spirits that people have given birth to. Like the Bible says, children of the devil, right? So you heard just how he talked to me, right? But it's 6:01. He's right up the street. And I actually didn't expect him to show up on time because this is somebody that ain't coming home, ain't obeying a court order. He's not even grateful that I picked his check up. Like I said, I'm the mother I wish I would have had, right? But he says I'm playing games. He doesn't want to live with my ass anymore. And he doesn't, because I'm not a drug addict. I'm not someone that's impatient. I'm not demonic like he is. I'm not as disrespectful. We like oil and water. Why does he want to live here? So he's saying, see, the thing is, the checks that he's getting is intertwined with the probation. Okay. And the court order states that I am supervising all of that. Right. The probation agreement says your mother is in control. Your mother makes the decisions. But he doesn't want to follow any hierarchy, even if it means it keeps him out of jail and off of drugs. So what I'm doing now, I'm kind of like Natalie, but I'm making a decision in the second half of my life. Okay, so I'm like a Natalie. I have decided to be done with children. I will not have any more of them in my residence. Now, unless I got a job. So say I became a probation officer, or I had a job where I was being paid to go pick up checks for kids and stuff like that, or help kids, kind of like some of the work I do when I do the juvenile board Zooms. So if I help children in that way, and I'm getting paid for it, I'll do it, if I had a job. But outside of a job, and actually, when I was raising my children, I made a personal choice not to get jobs at daycares and stuff. I didn't want to be a full-time teacher or work at a daycare because I didn't want to be bothered with more children. But you heard how he's talking to me. He know I do lives. He's on my live doing it. This is what I'm dealing with. I do not leave him at my residence alone. He's highly disrespectful. And the thing is, I'm going to tell you something with Daniel. I already know where I'm from St. Louis, Missouri. He ain't the first Daniel out there, right? It's other black guys that behave and have his nature. I have a friend, one of my friends, when I went to my relative's funeral down in Texas, that friend wished that my plane drop out the sky. Okay. I had known that friend for decades and decades. He's a male too, kind of like a Daniel spirit. He's wicked as hell. Ex-co-worker, ex-friend, my homeboy. We was real close. And he wished that my plane drop out the sky. He was intoxicated, but that particular friend got randomly assaulted. He was standing somewhere in the major city, and some dude just walked up to him out of the blue and broke his jaw. Sure did. And the thing is with Daniel, I try to tell him this, right? Daniel gonna get got. I promise. And this is why. This is this Negro right now. Let me try to be cool. Natalie, listen to this so you don't do this to yourself. This is not a blessing. Okay. Hello?
Hello. So you can come like in 20 minutes?
Yes, I can. Just give me to like 6:30.
6:30, okay.
Yeah.
Please be ready because I don't want to have to text Justin and do all the other stuff. So.
Okay.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Okay, bye. So what he's doing there is he's threatening me, right? So remember, I'm the one in control. I could take so much control that I called the police. I could have potentially had Daniel in handcuffs this weekend. Just based on showing him the court order. He's not home officer. I could already almost have a warrant out for Daniel's arrest right now. I haven't done it because I haven't called the police. But if I showed the police the court order and say he's not here, the police would not put Daniel in as a missing person. They would put him in as a criminal. The court order clearly says you are supposed to follow mom rules. If I showed that court order to the police, even if they didn't arrest him this weekend, they would call his probation officer. It all could go real fast. I have the full power to get him in the nearest jail, but I have not done that. So Natalie says, wow, I'm getting anxiety from this. Natalie says, thank you for the live. It was needed. Be safe and be well with the pretty pink hearts. Make sure your other son knows you will be meeting up with him. This is Daniel that's supposed to be, oh yeah. Okay. I know what you mean. So yeah, I did alert Isaiah when I was out of the live for a second to Cash App Isaiah. So what I will do, thank you for that, Natalie. For safety reasons, I will text Isaiah when I go to meet Daniel and when I'm with Daniel. And what I also do is I kind of stay at a physical distance from Daniel, but I'm going to tell you something. You know, Miss Anita Ann Grayson, the narcissistic sociopath that just got killed, you know, she was the aggressor. She started it, you know, and ended in her life, right? And see, Natalie, these are empaths that come on this channel. So Daniel has an aura. He has a spirit upon him, right? And that aura and that demonic energy and that unsafe feeling, it's the same feeling I get when I tell Isaiah I do not want to be at home alone with Daniel. It's almost a blessing he's ran off because I feel unsafe around him. Daniel does not make me feel safe. He does not love me. He's hateful. He's wicked, and I do not feel safe. So what Natalie is saying is make sure I let Isaiah know which is the son that's at work right now, that I'm going to meet with Daniel as a safety precaution. And Natalie, when I go meet with him, I take a little something with me, not a knife, but not a gun, but I take a little something with me. Something that put you in a coma. Okay. So I don't go meet with Negroes like this without some level of protection. But Elijah, I went through it with Elijah. Elijah and Daniel have the same father. Okay. So what is the lesson? See, I'm telling you the truth. Be careful who you have your children by. Be careful. That's all I could say. And Natalie, I'm giving you an honest, not a fake perspective. You don't need this late in your life. You say you 35, geriatric age, have a baby, and right at the most peaceful time in your life, you 50 and you got a motherfucker like this calling your phone. You just didn't ruin your whole life. But I'm kind of like a in-between Natalie. I'm an in-between Natalie, and this is why. It ain't too late for me because I'm not keeping no grandkids. I've already told Daniel, any child, any foolish woman that has a child with him, Elijah and Daniel already know I don't want to have anything to do with they baby kids. So I'm like an in-between Natalie. I got destroyed, but I'm being redeemed. See, the Scorpio is death and rebirth. I can be reborn. Look at this Negro. Whew. Hello? Hello?
Well, there's a lot of cops over there right now, so I will just wait till like 9. You hear me?
There's a lot of police over where?
Like driving over there, like past there and stuff. So I'm
past where I'm at?
No, past the KFC and stuff. They're like driving over there and stuff.
Where are you located at?
Taco Bell.
Well, I mean, the police are not looking for us.
I know. I was just making sure.
Is it a bunch?
Take your time and let me know when you're here.
Okay, I sure will.
Okay. Well, just don't take till like 10.
Yeah, you're paranoid because of the police, because of your lifestyle. I don't need.
Bye bye. I asked for all that. Okay.
Okay. See, he's a drug user and a junkie, and he's consistently breaking a court order. I don't hear any signs. I'm glad to be in an area where some of the police are getting off work right now. They're changing shifts. It's 6:12 p.m. But he's afraid of the police because of his criminal lifestyle. Just disobeying the court order puts him in a criminal lifestyle. That is a criminal act that he's doing. Utilizing drugs, stuff like that. And yeah, I may not need to go up there because the police might be looking for his ass. I don't know what he's done over the past couple of days. He was not here. He has not stayed a whole night here. He came home at 3 a.m. in the morning, Saturday morning. It's not dark out. If it was, look, let me tell you about stuff like this. If there's someone that got murdered in our town, and they got murdered, and the police came and knocked, and they said, we're investigating the murder. We're not sure if Daniel was involved. Now, I don't believe Daniel has murdered anyone. I hope not. He just went to church this morning. Okay. I hope not. Let's pray not that bad. However, if the police knock and say we are investigating the murder happened over the weekend, Where was Daniel at? I would tell the truth. I would say, well, first of all, officer, you know, Daniel's on juvenile probation. And this weekend, he did disobey the probation. And it started Friday. He did not return. He went to school Friday. He went to an event after school on Friday. He did not return to my residence, and I did not see Daniel until about 3 a.m. Saturday morning, officer. Here with a beer smelling backpack, and it was filled with liquor, because I'm a whole snitch, y'all. Because see, you know what? They have something called obstruction of justice, right? And ain't nobody that could have been involved in a murder over the weekend gonna get me locked up with their ass, because I'm lying for them. So I'm gonna say came in here intoxicated with a wet beer smelling backpack. For the entire weekend, Daniel would not and refused to tell me his whereabouts, even though I text him numerous times, even through the day, asking him his whereabouts over the weekend. Here's my phone, officer, to prove the text that I sent him, going back to even Friday, begging him to tell me his whereabouts. And he left here yesterday between noon and 2 p.m. I was talking to Miss Angel for a few minutes, and I have not seen Daniel since. He did not return here for the night. He won't answer my calls. He texts only. He has not been in my home pretty much this entire weekend, officer, except from 3 a.m. Saturday morning and through noon to 2 p.m. Saturday afternoon. I have only seen Daniel and know for sure of Daniel's whereabouts from those hours. And those hours would be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2. So for this entire weekend, since Daniel has been out of school, I have only known Daniel to be here 11 hours, 10 to 11 hours. And during those times, during those hours, he was only sleeping. And I know that during those hours, he couldn't have murdered anybody or been around any murderer. And hey, he could be covered just because he wasn't with the bad people when he came home to sleep, right? But I would not lie and say that he was at my residence when the police are saying we're investigating a murder. And that's why it's good to obey court orders. Because see, what I would provide is called circumstantial evidence. So Daniel doesn't have an alibi, right? And when I alibi you, it has to be true. I don't lie. If you wasn't with me, I'm not going to lie. So, yeah. So Natalie, the feeling you feel of no, it's not dark yet. It's 6:17 p.m. It's still daylight out. And so Natalie, I don't mean to make your heart race. It makes my heart race a little, but you know what? This is teaching me, you know what I'm learning through this is I'm learning that you got full control of yourself. Right now, I could dig into my other personality and Daniel could call. I could snap all the way out, right? But I don't want to become him. Now, that don't mean I'm going to keep tolerating him. Now, if he called my phone again, I'm going to say, look here, man, stop it. I'm on a live, please. In the name of the Lord and Jesus, please back off, buddy. But don't become a wicked person like that. See, because I actually got something going for myself. He really doesn't in the way I do. Because you ain't really got nothing going for yourself when you walking around with he still got the backpack. When I go see him, he's still gonna have a beer smelling backpack. It's probably gonna smell real strong now because the liquor done dried in it. So that's how it works. But I'm a do what Natalie suggested. Make sure I text Isaiah. But I told Isaiah, I say I do not feel comfortable when I'm alone here with Daniel. I don't feel safe. I don't. And Daniel may think that's extreme. Daniel actually, when he behaves like this and people feel unsafe around him, he doesn't understand why. He doesn't understand why his behavior creeps people out. He has a whole aura to him. His whole aura is very negative. So I'm going to go ahead. I don't even know how much the check is. I haven't opened it. I just did a kind deed, picked it up. These days, when you do kind deeds for kids, it becomes an opportunity for a child, youth, young adult, adolescent. It becomes an opportunity for them to abuse the helper. So what I'm doing is I'm redeeming myself. So basically, look at it like this. These kids, Daniel says he doesn't want kids as well. And I support Daniel in that. When Daniel said, he said it just a couple of days ago, he said, I don't want kids. He says that. And that's because I've taught Daniel. I said, with the way you are, don't hurt the child. I teach my children. None of my sons are children. See, I'm not a narcissistic sociopath. Oh, going back to the friend I was telling y'all about earlier, the friend, when she said, people that don't have kids, they just selfish. They just selfish. And actually, that's not true. So narcissistic, sociopathic women, they make you feel bad for your good choices. Like Natalie, she doesn't want to have them. Right? I'm giving a clear platform where I'm giving the pros and cons of having them and not. I got lucky. One loves me, Isaiah. That's out of 7 children, one being a stillbirth, only one of them loved me. Wow, like, statistically, that's like not in the best realm, right? So Daniel shouldn't have them neither. He shouldn't. He would just have a child that somebody else has to raise. He's in the streets, on drugs, not coming home. He would do that to his child as well. If he'll do that to his mother, he'll do it to his child. The child would not have a parent. So I feel like if you are not willing to parent your child, just give the child up for adoption, or better yet, don't have them at all. I'm still parenting. Because I'm still a parent, I'm still legally responsible for Daniel. So I am going to do my due diligence because I'm not the wicked one. He is. And the rest of my children. One has already been killed because she was so wicked. She already met her doomsday. One has already been killed. Not shot, not by a person, and it wasn't on purpose. Nobody killed her on purpose. It was a straight up accident. Straight up accident. No drunk driver, none of that. The Lord got tired of her and said, yo, day is today. And your wicked ass is coming up off this planet. That's what the Lord does. And she survived as many years as she did because myself and her father is not as wicked as her. You know, you got levels of wickedness. Just like you got what you call it? Mild, severe. No, you got mild, moderate, and severe. Wickedness is in those levels too. You got mildly wicked, moderately wicked, which would be in the middle. Then you got severely wicked. Daniel down here, he's still mild. He's still kind of mild, moderate. He's all three when he want to be. If my YouTuber can feel his bad energy right through the live, it might be going towards severe. So yeah, so that's how that is. So I'm gonna get ready. I'll get back on a live and let you know how it went. Going to pick up the check. Or maybe I should record it. Maybe I should take my device with me, put it in my bag, and record this Negro. You really gonna see how he pop off. Wait till we get to the part where he has to give me the money he owes me. Because we're not letting any wicked ass person not pay us our money. He won't get the whole check. He owes me and Isaiah thousands and thousands of dollars. He has to return those monies. Okay? So, and he still will never be returning all of what we've done for him. But he can return the portion that we request. So, that's the thing, y'all. I'm going to go into the fitness center over there in the restroom. I took my motorized toothbrush with me, y'all. So thank you so much, Natalie. And if your heart is racing, you are definitely not cut out. Natalie say her heart's racing. So don't do it to yourself. Because this generation, this is how they act, Natalie. Don't do this to yourself. Because if your heart is racing just by listening to how these demonic children behave, and y'all know the difference between a decent parent and a not decent one. So Natalie's heart is racing because she doesn't feel like I really deserve that. She heard him. Oh, but she ain't heard enough of how he really behaves. To the point where when he's running off, it's almost a blessing when he leaves. It is. I hate to say it, but yeah, I hate to say it, but yeah, but this is how this situation is. I'm gonna release this to the live, to the public right away. I'll update the description box, and I'll kind of give y'all an update of how it went. It's gonna be interesting. I'm meeting with an idiot, right? So don't think this check transaction is gonna go peaceful, because I'm meeting with a freaking fool. What you call him, Gen X? Is that what he is? A Gen X? Yeah. And guys like this that choose they mothers and girls and ladies as potential victims when they victimize, the universe will teach Daniel the lesson. Okay, it just will have to happen that way. And I'll keep praying for him. I love Daniel. I hate that I dislike and I'm disappointed, and I wish he was a better person. But to produce better people, you have to have your children with better people. That will help some of it. Okay? That will help it. When you have children with narcissistic men, psychopathic men, sociopathic men, those children have the same nature of their fathers, and those children are products of their father. And it's just like psychopathic men, sociopathic men, narcissistic men, they all begin to dislike me. The same way with the child, because remember, as an empath, I don't have a normal personality. Now, if I was a narcissist, I would be meeting with Daniel to knock his ass out by the bank machine. If I was narcissistic, I might have just would have cussed him out right away. A normal wouldn't be bothered with Daniel at all. But since I'm an empath, I'm going to give him his money. It's still his check, right? It's still his check. So I'm going to give him his money and do my part of what I'm supposed to do on this probation. To be clear, Natalie says, to be clear, he reminds me of an African man that started out nice and became condescending, said I was a narc, etc., nonstop calling. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And you got to remember, Daniel's African American. He comes from African bloodline. He remind me of them crazy motherfucking Africans too, especially Somalians and some of the Ethiopians and West Africans. Yeah, he is like fucking crazy ass African. But if he attack me, be mindful of this. If he attacks me, I don't care if it's my last breath in me. I'm going to do an Anita Grayson on him. Yeah, that 75-year-old, even though she started that shit and she was the aggressor, that young girl she fought gonna have a bald spot in her head the rest of her life. Anita Grayson won that fight. When her and that young girl was on the ground, Anita Grayson scalped that girl. Took that little white girl, August, I think it's her name, hair out. Yeah, so if me and Daniel get to tussling, I'm going to have to do an Anita Ann Grayson on him. I'm going to scalp his ass, and several of them dreads, I'm going to take up out that Negro scalp. Okay? But remember, the difference between me and Anita Grayson, I am not a narcissistic sociopath. I am a peaceful empath, and I am interacting with a product of a narcissistic sociopath, which is my son, Daniel. He's a product of that because of his father. But we going to be on the ground, and I'm going to bless Miss Anita Ann Grayson, the 75-year-old lady, and she taught us how to scalp niggas. So when you get on the ground with an old lady like me and Anita Ann Grayson, you're supposed to yank their motherfucking hair out. Daniel hair is past his shoulders. He got long dreads, and it's all his real hair. So Daniel gonna be scalped today. So if he pop off and do anything at this machine, he want to run up on me and fight. He want to try to throw a blow at me. I really feel like, being from St. Louis, Missouri, I could outbox him anyway. I truly feel that in my soul. So we could do, and I'm not going to be acting like I am on this live right now. How I'm like, business lady. I'm going to be straight up Muhammad Ali when I get up around this corner. So he better leave me the fuck alone. And he can feel that vibe about me too. And you know how he knows that? Because I'm not cussing. I'm not talking shit back. When I don't talk shit back to you, that means when you put your motherfucking hands on me, we is going to be tussling. Like we are in a project, and it's who can kill who first. Because I am not going to be letting this boy beat me down. I just have to do an Anita Ann Grayson on him. I'm going to have 8 of his dreads in my hand. And I'm going to do the same thing Anita Grayson did. The 75-year-old lady, she took the girl hair and put it in her purse. And then died 30 minutes to an hour later. Hey, if I got to die snatching the dreads out, I guess I got to go just like a narcissistic sociopath, Miss Anita Ann Grayson. Oh, well, I cannot tolerate him kicking my ass. That's all I got to say. So Wait a minute. Natalie said, please no, she crying. Y'all know I bring the serious humor here too. See, I'm funniest when I'm not trying to be. Okay. Yeah, I'm funniest when I'm not trying to be. But yeah, let me go help this boy cash this check while it's still daylight. I don't want to be at the cash machine with a gentleman that's on probation that's acting predatory towards his own mother and just having no gratitude and gratefulness. And Daniel's upset too. You know, this is my journey in life. I now talk about these predators. This is my venting place. Check this out. Remember this. Natalie and everybody, I want to understand this. I want you to understand this. I give plenty of chances. By the time I started telling y'all what Daniel really does and how my children act, remember, they had already been doing it to me for years. Daniel has been misbehaving and disrespecting me since 2022. 4 years in, y'all. That means that he had 4 years of time to stop behaving in this way. 4 years, y'all. That's a lot of time. You don't just do one thing and then I call your name out. I report the good too. But when people are wicked and they do stuff like this, I discuss it on my channel. Okay? I discuss it on my channel. And when they want to do well, I did a video. It was almost 30 minutes. It's one of my lives I did several days ago. Daniel's preaching on here. But he's not following his own advice. He was giving great advice that he won't follow completely. Even telling people not to use drugs. Why don't he tell himself that too? That's the best preaching, when you can preach it and follow it. But that's the weakness in the Negroes in the United States. But he remind you of one of them abusive Africans. Some poor lady gonna get with him. Some poor lady will get with them, you know. But I don't like to see no lady get with no mean or abusive man. I don't care if they are my son or my relative. I don't want you in that situation, no matter what. Sherry Mascot, Sister Sherry. Oh, hello. Glad to have you here, dear heart. Everyone say hi to Sister Sherry. Natalie, Sister Sherry. She's my ride or die that's been here since my channel first started. When I barely had 25 subscribers. Sherry's been here since then and ain't never left. Sherry has a busy schedule. Sister Sherry be busy. She has stuff to do, but she has been here since the very beginning and never left. Sister Sherry, we talked about a lot on this live today. So Natalie, she's kind of like, she brings advanced insight here and she's kind of like a moderator as well. So Sister Sherry, if you kind of scroll down, you can see some of the comments. Thank you so much for the like. So, yeah, we talked about numerous subjects today. Natalie said, hello, sister, at Sherry Mascot. Yeah, I'd call her Sister Sherry. She's my dear heart Sister Sherry. I love her. Thank you so much for the nice emoji, Natalie, and saying hello. I enjoyed this live. I may come back on here and do an update depending on how things go. I'll just update you no matter what. Oh, Sister Sherry says, hello, Natalie. So I'll give the update. We talked about a lot of stuff on this live, Sister Sherry, and I've just been keeping y'all up to date. We was just talking about some of my old videos earlier, the ones on psychopathic bullying and stuff like that. So Natalie had went through and watched some of those videos that were not lives, and then and most of those videos Sister Sherry has already seen. See, because Sister Sherry, she's been here before I was allowed to do YouTube or do live videos on YouTube. So Natalie says, beautiful Sunday to you, talking about Sister Sherry, saying beautiful Sunday to Sister Sherry. And then Natalie says, wherever you may be in this world. Yep. So so I'm gonna go ahead and meet Daniel, y'all. Sister Sherry, just rewatch the live if you're just coming in, and then I'll make it public right away. I love you, Natalie and Sister Sherry. I appreciate y'all all for being here. Natalie, I'm really grateful for you being here the entire live. Natalie, you added so much content to this live, and I'm so grateful for that, because I admitted the truth earlier. Before you started talking about stuff, I didn't know what the hell to say on this live. That is the honest to God truth. Some lives, you're kind of like, you got too much to say, but some lives, especially YouTubers that are not doing everything on a script, right? We actually like, what am I gonna say next? It happens sometimes. So Natalie, I love you, and you be safe, and please update us. I sure will. I'll do that just so you won't be so worried. So I'll come back on here and give you the update on how it went, just so you know I'm safe. And then Sister Sherry, dear heart, I love you so, so much. And Natalie, I love you as well. Thank you so much for the 4 likes. I'll release the live to the public right away. And please like, share, and subscribe, y'all. Tune in for more right here with the Advanced Insight channel. Irene will be back. I sure will. If y'all got any questions, ask it before I end. And then we'll go on from there. So again, please like, share, and subscribe. Please like, share, and subscribe. And thank you so, so much. Bye, Natalie. I'm getting ready to find some YouTube audio music in the YouTube audio library. I love ending it with the music. I really do. It's so because I didn't start it with the music today, because this live wasn't really like a planned live like that. So let me see, what can we pick out of the YouTube audio library? Apprehensive at best. Let's pick that. Suspense, y'all, because how is it gonna go when I go do this check cashing thing with Daniel? Is it gonna be peaceful? Is it gonna be a wrestling match? Am I gonna get cussed out? Is Daniel gonna get cussed out? How is it gonna go, y'all? I'm curious to know. So I'm apprehensive at best too. What's gonna happen, y'all? Again, thank you so much for the likes. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. Bye, y'all. Tune in for more right here with the Advanced Insight channel. Again, I love you, Sister Sherry. And thank you so much, Natalie, my moderator. I appreciate you so much. Natalie made this live, and Natalie was creating content for us on this channel right here today. She brought so much information to this live, and Sister Sherry has throughout the years as well. Sister Sherry, I need you to get in these lives when you can and be in these lives from the beginning to the end. I would like to interact with you more, Sister Sherry, on these lives. Again, I love everyone. I love you, Natalie and Sister Sherry. Tune in for more. Thank you. Bye.